answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
John O'Hurley here. The Medicare annual enrollment period is now. But who has time to call a bunch of different carriers just to compare Medicare Advantage plans? But what if I told you it could take just one call? By calling the number on your screen, you can compare rates and plans from multiple carriers. No more dialing around, no more headaches. It's fast, it's easy, and it's all done for you by a licensed insurance agent. You could get the coverage you want at a rate that fits your budget. It won't take more than a few minutes of your day, saving time, and it may save you money. But the clock is ticking. When the Medicare annual enrollment period ends, so does your chance to make changes.
I called to make sure I understood all the plans and benefits available in my area.
I call every year to compare plans that fit my needs.
One call to compare options from multiple carriers.
For a free no-obligation consultation, call 800-430-1251.
Imagine the peace of mind you'll have knowing that you've explored your options and chosen the right plan for you. No more second-guessing whether you could have found better coverage. Whether you're looking to reduce the cost of your plan, add benefits, or simply ensure your current doctors are still covered, this is one call that could make all the difference. Don't risk missing out on Medicare Advantage plans with important additional benefits. Call the Benefits Network to speak to a licensed insurance agent about Medicare Advantage plans and compare rates from national carriers.
I called to make sure my doctors are still covered by my plan.
I called to see what coverage and benefits change in my plan.
I called to find the plan that fits my needs for next year.
One call to compare options from multiple carriers. It's your health, your peace of mind, and your time. Make the most of it today.
For a free no-obligation consultation, call 800-430-1251, 800-430-1251.
In just a couple of hours, the largest Veterans Day parade will make its way through New York City.
Newsmax's Christina Thompson, she's standing by at Madison Square Park in the heart of Manhattan with more on what's ahead. Christina, good morning.
Good morning. We are outside of the Eternal Light Flagstaff because before all of our veterans and those who want to honor veterans can march down these streets up Fifth Avenue, Manhattan, all the way from downtown to uptown, first we have to have a wreath-laying ceremony here at Madison Square Park. But even before that, actually, there are still plenty of Veterans Day celebrations and commemorations kicking off across Manhattan today. We are starting off with the annual Honor Ruck Fitness March that began down here in Lower Manhattan. Once that wraps up, we'll see all those veterans and those who are celebrating come up here to Madison Square Park for the wreath-laying ceremony, which should kick off about 10:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. Now, the parade itself, which we will also be there for covering it, it's going to be led by former United States Army soldier and Medal of Honor recipient Clinton Remisha, Marine veteran and homeless veterans advocate Stephen Pack, and NASA astronaut and retired U.S. Navy Captain Sunita Suni Williams. So it's going to be a fantastic parade here as we honor our veterans and as we watch that wreath-laying ceremony. Now, this year's parade and Veterans Day as a whole is so special because it marks 250 years of military service since the Revolutionary War here in the United States. Now, the Veterans Council here in New York says there are going to be so many marching today, about 20,000 marchers, 25 floats for this parade, and more than 280 marching units. So we are very much so looking forward to be able to spend our Veterans Day with some veterans and veteran advocates here in New York City. Back to you.
All right, Christina Thompson, it is also cold in New York City. We can't deny the fact that today might be the coldest day we've seen in quite some time here in the Northeast.
Yeah, if you're coming out to watch the parade, make sure you bundle up. It's definitely a beautiful sunny day, but that wind chill will get you.
Yeah, no, it looks a little bit cold, but you know what? We will be there for the veterans, and they are so strong. We have to honor them every day, frankly, in our view, should be Veterans Day. So it's necessary to go out there just, you know, to clap for them and to say thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Christina. Appreciate it. Have a good Veterans Day.
Thank you.
All right, so Andrew, so good to be with you today.
Good to be with you too, Krisha.
Yeah, it's been great to have you on the show.
Yeah, filling in for John today, and I think I'll be a familiar face to a lot of News Edition viewers and Newsmax viewers going forward here. So
yeah, we could catch you all over Newsmax 1, Newsmax 2,
definitely.
and we'll be hearing a lot about your political commentary. I know you've been giving our viewers a lot of great insights about the government shutdown and what should be expected. I think there does seem to be a bit of light at the end of the tunnel here with the Senate last night and then now to Congress, even though Hakeem Jeffries keeps saying, hold the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's all happens in the House tomorrow, hopefully. Speaker Johnson has kept House members out of session for going on more than 50 days. That's kind of a modern historic record. So you're right. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully this funding bill can be on President Trump's desk for his signature soon.
Right. Potentially by the end of the week. I think that would most likely be the earliest, but truly unprecedented. Rob Astorino gave us a little bit of the history of government shutdowns, but this one seems to be one for the ages, the way it's affecting travelers and everyday Americans. So definitely a time where we all have to hold our leaders accountable for what we're seeing and dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, usually the finger pointing is always.
Get the day's top news from a Christian worldview. CBN Newswatch, weekdays at noon and 4:30 on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is the happening place right here. And that is Jerry Building, in case you're wanting to know. And it is Veterans Day.
Oh, yes.
So today is a day that we certainly give great gratitude and thanks to those who are serving, have served. And we'll have more on that throughout the next hour or two. So I want to say to all the veterans, thank you so very, very much. It's also a little bit of a reminder.
Oh, yeah.
The Operation Christmas Child's shoe boxes, that campaign is going right now throughout the entire country. And if you've never done this, let me encourage you to check it out. This is where you fill a box full of goodies for a young boy or young girl. And it is distributed somewhere in the world. And it's quite a program. By the way, we have a few leftover boxes. If you're in the neighborhood and you want to come by and grab them, I think we have maybe a dozen and a half of these left. If you want to grab one, if you don't have one. But make sure you do that. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day. And thank you again for all you veterans. And we have a lot to say about that coming up throughout the day. And nice weather out there until, I guess, tomorrow night.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What's
up? What do you got?
Well, you mentioned it. It's Veterans Day.
Yes, it is.
Federal holiday. A lot of people off today. Schools are out. And federal holiday that coincides with Armistice Day and Remembrance Day, which marks the end of World War I. These observances reflect the end of significant hostilities, and we've all heard this, at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, when the armistice with Germany took effect. So our hats off, and to all who have served, we honor you on this day. And only one other thing, it is something to eat. We've talked about it a little bit in recent weeks. It's the National Sundae Day. Recently, we celebrated a Hot Fudge Sundae Day. We've also celebrated Strawberry Sundae Day, but there aren't enough Sunday days, so now we have the General Sunday Celebration Day. Did you know that the name Sunday comes from the day Sunday? But not just because it's a popular day to enjoy this treat. Early versions were often served on Sundays, partly due to blue laws that restricted the sale of soda on the Sabbath. So ice cream parlors got creative. Instead of topping the ice cream with soda, they did it with syrup instead, and the sundae was born.
There you go.
Yeah, and there are a lot of claims to who originated it, but there are a lot of variations. In Japan, the Japanese parfait is a version of the sundae that often includes layers of fruit, cornflakes, and even cake, showcasing the versatility of a sundae. In Scotland, a popular treat is the poke, which is essentially a sundae served in a cone, blending the convenience of an ice cream cone with the layered delight of a sundae. Now, let's get creative. Bacon sundaes have gained popularity recently, combining the salty crunch of bacon with the sweetness of ice cream and syrup, challenging traditional notions of dessert. And finally, there's the garbage can sundae. It's a testament to the indulgence of sundaes, featuring multiple scoops of ice cream and every topping imaginable. It's a celebration of excess and variety, and you can do it on Tuesday.
Okay.
Because today is Sunday day.
All right, so Sunday day on Tuesday.
How about that?
So is a banana split a takeoff from a sundae?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's scoops of ice cream with stuff on it. That's a sundae, right?
There you go.
Yeah, anyway. You know, remember at one point in time before the internet and stuff, Sundays were actually kind of a social media platform. They were called, remember, ice cream socials?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, people get together and they talk about, they take pictures of the things they're eating and share it with each other.
There you go.
Remember in the early days of the internet, everybody did that? Oh, here's what we're having for lunch. Here, we're out here, we're having this to eat. It's like, okay, I don't see much of that in.
All right, well, there you go. Hey, happy Tuesday, Sunday for you. Here's a three-scooper. He does the weather here.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a lull in the weather before another front moves in, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s from Vancouver through Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing with partly sunny skies as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 56 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, near 58 in Eugene, with showers moving in tonight. In central Oregon, patchy fog in Prineville, then mostly sunny in mid-60s. Mostly sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 60s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny and calm with a high near 62 and lows in the mid-40s. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Port Orford with a high near 60, but patchy fog, then mostly cloudy for Coos Bay with a high near 64, Brookings near 58, and Crescent City, California in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog in the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin, then mostly cloudy near 63 in Grants Pass, but clearing to partly sunny in mid-60s for Medford and Ashland and near 61 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in Wairika with a high near 63, partly sunny for Redding and Chico with daytime high temperatures near 73, and mostly cloudy and calm in Sacramento with a high near 74. Mostly cloudy today across the Bay Area with daytime highs in the mid-70s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 73 in San Francisco, and near 80 in San Jose with a calm wind becoming northwest around 5 miles per hour this afternoon. A snapshot of your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
A little bit of a shot there this morning with some clouds over the top of Mount McLaughlin. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. So little pockets of fog out there, so we'll just kind of roll with that going on this morning.
Hey, is there movement going on in young people? Are they waking up?
Well, I think, you know what, we talk a lot about this, and especially with George Barna's research and everything. I think that young people, and I'm going to say 30 on down, are waking up to the fact that they've been lied to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking a question, is there more to life than what I've been told?
Yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah.
A big lie, you know?
Yeah, good point.
And so they're checking out church.
Well, they're checking out church, and a lot of them are learning different things from a lot of folks in the school systems through Christian education.
There you go.
With a great look at this is Dr. Anthony George.
Christian education does not just mean that you study the same stuff and just start the class with a blessing and pray over the meal at lunch and go to a chapel service once a week. Christian education means that Christ and the person of Jesus, in whom all the preeminence and the fullness of the Godhead bodily dwells, that Jesus Christ, the ultimate standard of truth and his written inerrant word, that should permeate and saturate every subject that is being taught. That's what Christian education is. And not only that, but Christian education is not truly Christian if it does not equip these children to think critically. If any generation needs to be equipped with critical thinking, analytical thinking, it is this generation, those coming up. And thankfully, we are seeing signs among the college generation and even the upper grades of high school. We are seeing something, I'm trying to figure out what it is, but there's something going on where college students are saying, we've been sold a cheap bill of goods. There's got to be a better way than the way we've been taught. Exciting to me to see.
Well, there you go. Yeah. He's pretty passionate about it.
Yes, he is.
And excuse me, sorry about that. I interviewed 2 people yesterday from the Grace Cascade Christian Schools, which goes now from literally preschool all the way through high school. And everything that Dr. George expressed there is the core of what's happening in these schools, and they are packed to the gills. In fact, they're doing pre-registration now for next year.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't get in line, there may not be a spot, because parents are waking up that they don't want these kids in these other institutions that's been taught a bunch of baloney that's heavily biased one way, and they want the fullness of biblical worldview. And let me just say this cautiously, and I don't have time to explain it now, but there's a difference between a Christian worldview and a biblical worldview.
Okay.
And let me say this, that when you hear the worldview, make sure it is a biblical worldview. Okay. And we can talk about that later. Okay. But the point being is that Christian education is a worthy investment. And I know that not everybody can afford it, but I do know a lot of people in their benevolence help schools to have scholarship programs.
True.
And so look at it. Don't think it can't be done. With God, all things are possible. So take a look at it. All right, let's take a look at some of the headlines this morning. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Well, they got it through the Senate. It's sitting at the House now as to whether or not they're going to reopen the government, and that could happen tomorrow. Okay. In the meantime, I'm not sure the procedures here, back and forth, back and forth. Senator Rand Paul, he was the only Republican that said no. And the reason he said no is that the measure prevents unregulated sales of intoxicating hemp-based products at the gas station and small retailers, and he's against that. When I read this, I thought, I wonder where RFK Jr. is on this.
Yeah.
But the point is that apparently the continuing resolution has this provision in it. I think we need to understand that the continuing resolution isn't the final bill. The continuing resolution reopens the government to reopen the debate.
Right.
And so, anyway, he was a holdout.
It does promise a vote.
Yes.
On the Obamacare extensions, and that would come next month.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. So in the meantime, the president said he's very much for the deal. He said he would support the Senate agreement to end the government shutdown, calling it a very good deal, and that he would abide by it. And according to the remarks made from the Oval Office, he said, yep, this is the one. Let's get it open. It now sits with Speaker Johnson. He probably will rally the votes for tomorrow on the House floor to see if they can get it open.
So that means all the congressmen got to get back to the Hill.
Yeah.
So they have to deal with all the flight delays and cancellations. And is this gonna delay the vote?
Well, they better be on their way now.
Okay. Yeah, I would think so.
So anyway, excuse me. That's what's happening there. In the meantime, as you know, speaking of airports and shutdowns, the president said to the air traffic controllers, he said. He posted this on Truth Social yesterday. All traffic controllers must get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. However, for those air traffic controllers who were great patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democratic shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I wonder what the numbers look like, those who have been taking time off and those who didn't. I wonder how many bonuses would be going out.
Be interesting to know that number.
Yeah. How about here? How has the workflow gone on at our airport, and has it affected flights?
It has affected flights only because they're affected from incoming.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so if they're coming in from San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, those flights have been impacted. Okay, so Anyway, we'll see where this goes. But for those who stayed on the job without pay, I want to say thank you. And it looks like you could be getting a $10,000 bonus.
How about that?
All right, another little story here is Michelle Bachmann. You remember her?
Oh, boy, do I. Yeah.
Former Minnesota Representative Bachmann. Well, she resigned from the Heritage Foundation National Task Force to combat anti-Semitism. She did that on Thursday, slamming the think tank board of directors for failing to hold President Kevin Roberts accountable. Even though he came out and said, I'm sorry I made a mistake, he did not go on to condemn actually what was being said.
Yeah, what do you read into that? Huh?
Well, let me say this. How can I say this so it comes out right?
Okay.
This is the challenge of every conservative organization, from political to religious to political parties. It only takes a little leaven to spoil the whole lump. And there is great pressure on moving the right to the left a little bit so that we can get along.
Yeah.
And when that door is open, something happens. And what I don't understand, first of all, when I watched President Kevin Roberts' so-called apology speech, let me say this. It's my opinion, so I'll own this 100%, okay?
Okay, all right.
When I watched that, it was an angry apology. It wasn't a contrite apology.
Did you feel like he was apologizing because he felt like he had to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so there's much concern about Tucker Carlson. I don't know why he's gone off on some of this stuff. After I listened to him give an amazing testimony at Charlie Kirk's memorial, and then to turn around and do something that was anti-Semitic, or at least certainly lean in that direction, is a shock. And the only thing I can think of is this. This is the problem with people coming to Christ, receiving him, think they got it all, and then don't sit under biblical teaching. They don't know the basics of their faith. They don't know the essentials of the faith. And there's another little problem out there in Christianity, separating the Old Testament from the New Testament.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Okay, so the problem is a lot of these people that make these off-the-wall statements, they haven't spent time properly being taught theology. Okay, well, anyway, I could go off on that, but the point being, I think that's what happened to Tucker. I just don't think it's my judgment call, I realize that. It appears to me that he hasn't really studied the scriptures.
Is Tucker, is his only outlet these days a podcast?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any idea what kind of an audience he has?
No.
Okay, does anybody hear him?
He has a following.
Okay, because I haven't heard Tucker since he was on Fox. Yeah.
Well, he came out of Fox as a conservative martyr.
Yeah, good point.
And he carried with it, and so did Megyn Kelly.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so these people got spun out, and so in the meantime, I would say Megyn's probably stayed true to her conservatism, from what I understand, and listened to her. But Tucker is just kind of like, I mean, he has said some pretty wild things.
Yeah.
And you got to ask yourself, is he doing it because he's looking for ratings? I think the other part of Christian maturity is you got to know when to shut up.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point.
There's a time to speak and not to speak.
Would you ask a pretty relevant question there? Is he looking for ratings? Because I ask, where is he? I wouldn't even know where to tune Tucker in. But he sure has been in the news, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And pray for him, because if he truly believes what he said at Charlie Kirk's memorial, then let's move him into maturity, into the complete 66 books of the Bible, not just mountaintop scriptures.
Yeah.
Why does he understand theology? Does he understand the relationship of Christianity to Judaism? Does he understand that?
You know what? You need to get Tucker on Focus today. You need to interview him, and then you need to turn him on to the programming of the Dove.
Well, yeah.
There you go.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Well, anyway, there's so much about Judaism that parallels the Christian faith that you can't ignore it, but number 2 is Jesus said, if they persecute me, they're going to persecute you. Who was he talking to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have been grafted in. We're going to be persecuted for our faith. And you won't be able to stand unless you really understand what the Bible teaches. I would encourage everybody, slow down and read your Bible. And you start with the Gospel of John, and you say, Lord, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read this Gospel, open my eyes and my heart, and start reading the Gospel of John. And then when you get done with it, say that prayer again and read it again. Do that 3 times.
Okay.
It will change your life.
Right.
Okay, that's my sermon for the day.
Cool, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
Do we have anything to eat? Oh yeah,
we have
ice cream sundae.
Yeah, very fitting.
I don't think, as much as I like ice cream, I don't think I could do it for breakfast.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Can your hands of glory reach down and heal the hurt of the broken? God of the universe, do you hear the
I remember those very first days once the Dove TV launched on air, and you said, well, could we look at doing the Dove, the morning show, and making that a TV show? Well, what did you have? Well, it was just a very small radio studio, but there certainly wasn't room for cameras, and there absolutely wasn't room to put any camera people, let alone lighting as well. I remember there were just cables everywhere. They were down at Lowe's getting things and just screwing things into the wall and saying, well, how do we light this? How do we make it happen? But it happened, and I think what surprised me and amazed me the most, that what began as a radio show that was also televised on television, in a very few months became something very unique and not done anywhere else. I don't know that it's been done, at that time hadn't been done in the world, was to become a television show that was also broadcast on radio.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Welcome back, and happy Tuesday. Mornings on the Dove with Jerry Bilden.
Oh, no, we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Alone.
No, we don't emphasize that.
Okay. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Let you know that the governor, Kotek, signed the multi-billion dollar tax road bill. And she finally signed it. It was on her desk. And now we have 50 days trying to make sure that it doesn't take effect. After more than a month of delay, the governor announced Monday that she had signed House Bill 3991, the Emergency Transportation Bill. And this now says with the ink dry, the Republican opponents now can start the process of referring to the new tax bill to voters. So to do so, they'll need roughly 78,000 signatures. They're going to go for 100,000. So let me just introduce to you that the Republican Central Committees across the state and other organizations have the petitions. You can call your local, or I should say your county Republican Central Committee and work with them. Here in Jackson County, and let me just say this throughout the state, they're going to take November 22nd statewide. This is a Saturday, a week from this Saturday. They're going to be at places throughout the entire state where you can stop by and sign the petition. These petitioners and people handling the petition, they're being trained right now to make sure that you are legitimate, that you're a registered voter. I mean, they're going to do it right. Okay, so here's the deal. A week from Saturday, we'll keep you posted on this throughout the week. But you may have to check in your county. But we're already looking at locations for Shady Cove, Eagle Point, Ashland, Jackson County, numerous places. They're going to have people trained where you can stop by and say, you know what? This will be as important as going to the polls and voting.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
So you're not going to get a mail-in ballot. You're going to have to go somewhere and sign this thing. And if we can get 150, 200,000 signatures across the state in the next 50 days, this will go on the ballot. It delays it for 50 days so that it gets voted on this spring during the primary. Okay, now think about this.
Right.
If they get it and it gets on the ballot measure to recall the $4.3 billion tax bill in the state of Oregon will be on the same ballot that the governor's on for re-election.
Isn't that an interesting twist?
Isn't that?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So anyway, she signed it. The ballots are out. We'll keep you posted. This next story I thought to be kind of interesting. Pope Leo. Yeah, we're hearing more about him.
Yeah.
He signed something. A decree from the Pope's office firmly rejects the claim that Mary, Jesus' mother, helped save the world from damnation, settling a debate that has baffled the Catholic community for stating that Jesus alone redeemed humanity by his crucifixion and death.
Wait a minute.
In other words, she is no longer the co-redeemer.
What do you mean no longer? Was that doctrine?
It was. This was the confusion. She was being revered as equal to.
What?
Because she is she's the mother of Jesus. So the Vatican Doctrinal Office instructed Catholics to no longer give her the title of co-redeemer, as it carries the risk of eclipsing the exclusive role of Jesus Christ as Savior. Wow.
I didn't know this existed. Did you?
Yes, this is a confusion.
Yeah.
Why do Catholics spend so much time praying to Mary?
That was my next question. Why?
Okay, because they had put her at the level of Jesus because she's the mother of Jesus. Okay? Now, he goes on to explain that she is the mother who gave the world the author of redemption and of grace, who stood firm at the foot of the cross, according to John 19, suffering alongside her son and offering the pain of maternal heart pierced by the sword. Yes, of course. She sat there and watched her son be crucified.
Yeah.
And of course, she does have that special recognition in place. There's no question about it. She is the miracle birth.
Yeah.
She gave the miracle birth. But this is quite a statement coming from the Vatican.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. So he's a little bit more theological than I think some of us thought that he was.
Yeah, a little bit more conservative, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Well, how about all that stuff? Let's take a look at the weather for you. Here's what's going on. And swirling around. Not much today.
No, and maybe not a lot tomorrow, but a 45% chance of showers tomorrow, daytime highs in the mid-60s. But you better look for some rain on Thursday. About 63 is the high, and a little break as we move towards the weekend, and maybe a little bit of shower activity late in the weekend on Sunday, but not quite what we were looking at in this, it's kind of, I don't know if it's, is this doing the Leon split or what's going on with it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Right there at the state line almost.
The Leon split. That should be a meteorological term.
Leon split.
The Leon split happens over the West Coast, or right at the border of California and Oregon. Well, we're looking at the government getting restarted, and the continuing resolution that is to be voted on isn't the same one that they've held out for, what, 42, 43 days now?
Yeah.
So what's different about it? Well, House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke with Newsmax's Greta Van Susteren, and he expressed optimism about the government reopening, and he explained what the CR is that they will be signing.
yes, it looks like we may be on the verge of our long national nightmare coming to an end. Finally, at least a handful of common sense Democrats in the Senate look like they're going to do the right thing and respond to the plea of millions of people across this country and, of course, Republicans in Congress and President Trump, and reopen the government. It's the most basic responsibility, and it's long overdue. The CR, the Clean Continuing Resolution that you explained we passed back in September, mid-September, seems like a decade ago now, is virtually unmodified except for the date, because we were going to extend another 7 weeks, which would have given us until November 21st. But of course, because of the Democrats' shenanigans, they ate all the time off the clock now. So that date will now be pushed to January 30th, which will allow us in Congress time to finish the regular order of appropriations to get the government funded in due course. Then we'll also add to this package 3 of those legislative appropriations bills. And so you'll have the legislative branch bill, you'll have military construction and VA, and the agriculture bill. So that means, in layman's terms, what it'll make sure of is it will ensure that all these folks that are covered by those bills are covered until the end of the next fiscal year, which is next September, 2026. So you're talking about farmers, veterans, all these essential services and things that have been held up. We'll take care of that in one big foul swoop. And also, we're going to make sure in the bill that we go back and back pay all these federal employees who have been made to sacrifice so much because the Democrats have been playing political games here.
So basically, it's a difference of time, 2 months.
Yeah. There are some things in there that you have in a CR that are always crazy, but you got to remember, one only thing about a CR, it's just bait dangling.
Bait dangling. Tell me about that.
Well, you sign the CR doesn't fix the budget.
Right. True. Yeah.
The CR is just things you're going to talk about when you get back into session.
Yeah.
And so that's what I call bait dangling.
And one of the pieces of bait was the vote next month on the extension on the Obamacare tax credits.
So the Democrats are going to try hard to extend those subsidies
that they couldn't do while they were controlling the government.
See, you know what's so interesting? Just think about this. The words mean things.
Yes.
Okay? Affordable Care Act needs subsidies.
Yeah, what is affordable about that? Yeah.
Affordable Care Act needs subsidies. Now, I will say this.
What?
Democrats are pretty smart because they planned this all along.
Yeah. Yes,
but now that it's been exposed. And, you know, here's another thing, too.
What?
You know what really was the loser here on this deal? Well, yes, Democrats lost.
Okay.
But I think legacy media lost.
Tell me why.
They don't have the influence to stop this anymore.
Yeah, true.
They didn't have the influence to stop Trump from getting reelected.
They did. That's a great point. And
if you went to the legacy media and followed this argument, it was over the top, blaming Trump and Republicans, and yada, yada, yada. And what happened? The Democrats collapsed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know,
that tells me they're losing their punch.
Yeah, I think so. And you know what? We've seen that for a while. Even the last election cycle indicated that, because people obviously are finding other alternate news sources, and they're not going to the legacy media. You know, we talk about, you know, certain demographics. I would love to see breakdown about where, especially younger people are getting their news these days.
Streaming and online.
There you go. Now, and I'm not sure what that means online. You know, when I go online for my news, you know, I go to certain sources.
Well, they go to TikTok.
See, and I hear that, Perry. I hear TikTok. I hear Facebook. I think, how can you get news at these places?
Well, you know,
I don't get it.
Here's what you ought to do if you're on social media.
Okay.
Whatever one you're on, you're going to see something that's really wild. Let's see. What was the one I saw the other day? Tom. He does the ads for mortgages. He was a Hawaii 5-0 guy.
A Hawaii 5-0 guy?
I'll think of it here.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Okay.
They had him dead. He died.
Okay. And now I'm really interested. Go ahead.
Bruce Willis. They've had him dead.
Oh yeah.
All week. He died. Okay. So you read this thing and you go, oh my stars.
Yeah.
Okay. You go over to the other media, and you would think that if Bruce Willis died, that it would be headline news.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
No.
Right.
It's not there.
It's clickbait, isn't it?
It's just back and forth.
It's clickbait.
You know, that King Charles had a heart attack. You think if that is the case, you run over to one of the other news sources and see if it's headlines. Not there.
Right. You know, That's interesting. You know how they clickbait me? It's not about deaths. It's about Yankee trades. I'm not kidding you. I get these things, and it says, big trade for major star.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
Contemplated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like way down, and I click on it, and I go, they're not trading this person.
Yeah.
They haven't signed it. I mean, it's a nasty, vicious cycle that we go through.
Lie and
I hate
cheat
it.
And AI and garbage.
Yes.
It's a cesspool of stuff. All right, so much for all that. But
let's have a Sunday.
You can't change the flavor of ice cream, I'll tell you that. We'll be right back. No budget. We didn't know what we were going to do. And this was the camera, one of them. We used 4 cameras. These are recreational cameras that somebody would have to take pictures of the kids on vacation. We had a switcher about this big, and we went to Lowe's and bought aluminum lights that had the clamps on them. So that was our lights, these were our cameras, and our mics came up through the table through holes. And that's how we launched.
The Dove TV, broadcasting 15 years.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian owned and operated, pet friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Welcome back. Happy Tuesday to you. Well, kind of a historic meeting yesterday at the White House. First time the Syrian president has come to the Oval Office and sat down with the president. So let's check in with CBN News Watch and find out what happened.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Tuesday, the 11th of November. I want to begin this half hour in the Middle East, where the Trump administration is working with Israeli leadership on what will happen in Gaza, including the fate of 200 trapped Hamas terrorists, and the historic meeting in Washington where Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara made history as the first Syrian leader invited to the White House, with President Donald Trump indicating it was a good meeting. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us this story.
President Trump called Syrian President al-Shara a tough guy from a tough place and a very strong leader.
I liked him. I get along with him, the new president of Syria. And we'll do everything we can to make Syria successful, because that's part of the Middle East. We have peace now in the Middle East, first time that anyone can remember that ever happening.
Trump lifted decades-old sanctions on Syria after former al-Qaeda terrorist al-Shara toppled Syrian President Bashar Assad last year, ending the brutal Assad regime. Trump says he also wants to see a lasting peace between Syria and Israel.
We're working also with Israel on, getting along with Syria, getting along with everybody, and that's working amazingly.
In an interview with Fox News, al-Shara said he doesn't see Syria entering the Abraham Accords with Israel in the near future.
Syria has borders with Israel, and Israel occupies the Golan Heights since 1967. We are not going to enter into a negotiation directly right now. Maybe the United States administration with the President Trump will help us reach this kind of negotiation.
Known in the Bible as Bashan, the Golan Heights was given to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Israel gained control of the Golan Heights in the 1967 Six-Day War. During his first term, President Trump recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Al-Shara said he and the president talked about changing Syria's perception and role in the Middle East.
We talked about the president and the future. We talked about the investment opportunities in the future in Syria, and so that Syria is no longer looked at as a security threat. It is now looked at as a geopolitical ally, and it's a place where the United States can have great investments, especially extracting gas.
According to reports, Syria confirmed it would join the global coalition against ISIS, though no announcement has yet been made. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Trump's envoy Jared Kushner met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss the ceasefire agreement. Kushner is leading talks to secure safe passage for about 200 Hamas terrorists trapped in tunnels on the Israeli side of the Yellow Line. Israeli government spokeswoman Shosh Bedrosian refuted Turkey's claim that they are civilians.
And Turkish propaganda cannot change the fact that they are terrorists. Terrorists who are with Hamas. Even Hamas admits its tunnels are for its terrorists and not for its people.
As details are being worked out for an international security force in Gaza, Netanyahu has stated that Turkish troops will not be included. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
I want to continue our coverage now with our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. He's joining us from Jerusalem. So, Chris, President Trump says he wants to see peace between Syria and Israel. Do Israeli leaders consider that a realistic possibility?
Well, Ephraim, I know in the past, not too long ago, they've said there's been some progress, but many people believe a deal may be still far off. There's two red lines right now, Ephraim. One would be to demilitarize the southern Syria, south of Damascus, and then protection for the Druze minority, and I would add the Christians in that part of Syria. Israel's really not going to tolerate any threat to those Druze in southwestern Syria. So that is a core issue. And as Al-Shara mentioned in that interview with Fox News, the status of the Golan Heights is very important. That's a core issue for both Israel and in Syria. Syria wants it back in any future negotiations. It's really a strategic site for Israel as well. It used to be a place where before the 1967 Six-Day War, where Syria could actually send artillery shells onto the Sea of Galilee and to many of the kibbutzim there on the shores at that time. So this is sort of a red line for both Syria and Israel. And as Julie said in her report, ironically, it was really President Trump who, in his first term, declared the Golan Heights sovereign Israeli territory. So I don't think Israel's going to compromise on their security needs. Perhaps there may be some sort of security agreement or non-aggression pact in the near future.
All right, there we go. Jerry and I thought we'd go outside.
Hey.
Yeah, just enjoy some colors this morning.
It's beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
It's beautiful out here.
Isn't that amazing?
Check that out, Perry. Look at it.
Huh?
Look at that. That's the big wide view.
There we
go.
You know what? We should be playing golf out there.
My ball would be lost under those leaves. It wouldn't be on the fairway.
Actually, you know what we could be doing there?
What?
Hunting turkeys.
Hunting, yeah, now you're talking.
Hunting turkeys.
Yeah. All right.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, speaking of which, let's see what the weather's going to be.
Okay.
Pretty nice, huh?
Okay.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a lull in the weather before another front moves in, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s from Vancouver through Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing with partly sunny skies as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 56 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, near 58 in Eugene, with showers moving in tonight. In Central Oregon, patchy fog in Prineville, then mostly sunny in mid-60s. Mostly sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 60s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny and calm with a high near 62 and lows in the mid-40s. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Port Orford with a high near 60, but patchy fog, then mostly cloudy for Coos Bay with a high near 64, Brookings near 58, and Crescent City, California in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog in the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin, then mostly cloudy near 63 in Grants Pass, but clearing to partly sunny in mid-60s for Medford and Ashland and near 61 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in Wairika with a high near 63, partly sunny for Redding and Chico with daytime high temperatures near 73, and mostly cloudy and calm in Sacramento with a high near 74. Mostly cloudy today across the Bay Area with daytime highs in the mid-70s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 73 in San Francisco, and near 80 in San Jose with a calm wind becoming northwest around 5 miles per hour this afternoon. A snapshot of your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Go a little bit of a look at the south end of our valley this morning where the fog doesn't quite hug the mountains that tight.
Yeah.
But we do have a layer of fog over the top of us. Not hearing too many airplanes leave at the moment.
Good point.
Yeah. But it'll lift. Hang in there.
Well, it was born. I love that shot. Looking at the trees behind us. It was born into World War II, and it was unveiled on this day in history.
It's the veterans, not the reporters, who give us freedom of the press. It's the veterans, not the poets, who give us freedom of speech. It's veterans, not political organizers, who give us the freedom to assemble. It's veterans, not lawyers, who give us the freedom to a fair trial. It's veterans, not politicians, who give us the freedom to vote. And it is veterans, not preachers, who give us the freedom to worship publicly. So on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you.
Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that. That was nice.
Thank you for Veterans Day. All right, so what happened on World War II this day?
Well, we'll have to look at it, I guess.
Do we have it?
Do we have that?
On November 11th, 1940, a rugged little vehicle rolled onto a test field in front of the U.S. Army and rolled straight into history. It was the Willys Quad, the first prototype of what we'd come to know simply as the Jeep. Designed in just 75 days to meet the Army's urgent call for a lightweight, all-terrain, general-purpose vehicle, the Willys quickly proved itself tougher and more reliable than anything else on the battlefield. By the end of World War II, more than 600,000 Jeeps had been built, carrying troops, hauling supplies, even serving as ambulances. General Eisenhower called it one of the 3 decisive weapons of the war. And after the fighting stopped, the Jeep came home. Willys was given the go-ahead to build and sell the Jeep for civilian function, transforming it from war hero to symbol of American adventure, freedom, and the open road, especially a road that wasn't paved.
The only problem with the Jeep,
what?
They flipped real easy.
Oh, detail, minor detail. And they didn't have seatbelts. No. What a deal. Well, I was surprised what Eisenhower said about it. One of the 3 elements that won the war. And also the fact I learned in doing this was the first time that a vehicle was developed for government use that was approved for civilian sale.
Oh.
Was the Jeep.
What about the Hummer?
That's later.
That's later.
The first.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a Jeep break.
Okay.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years.
The interesting thing is that I left KFBK, the big 50,000-watt AM station in Sacramento, to go to KDOV, a 1,000-watt daytime station in Southern Oregon. And KFBK hired Rush Limbaugh.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years, encouraging and informative.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
It's a turbulent time. Our values are under attack and being challenged with so much coming at us every day. Focus Today with Perry Atkinson helps you sort it out to bring you hope and encouragement so you can stay alert.
But I can't find the crime. I've been doing this for 60 years.
Focus Today, every weekday, an in-depth look and conversation with experts who have a finger on the pulse of what's going on in America and the world.
Anticipating a strike by Iran.
Focusing on the day's events.
Democrats have weaponized our entire government.
Perry Atkinson asks the questions that you want to know.
What's your take today, these many years later?
It's an hour you need to strengthen your faith and stay informed on the urgent issues coming at us.
For a time such as this, Focus Today is an important hour you need to see.
Watch Focus Today weekdays on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. See past episodes and more at thedove.us.
They're fun-loving twins. They love God, hunting, and pranking each other. Join the Hamptons for outdoor adventure every weekend on Twin Factor. Brought to you by Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. Truly excellent service.
Well, welcome back. 11 minutes before the top of the hour. The other day, I had one of the most fascinating interviews with Rabbi Daniel Schoenbuck. He is a rabbi in the downtown New York.
Oh.
He has a organization there. And I asked him if him and other faith leaders are going to get together and talk about what to do with Mamdani becoming mayor. And here's what he had to say.
I'm really not sure if there's anybody to talk to over there. You see, let me be very clear about this. It's not just Mamdani. It's the nature of New York politics. The Democratic Party runs, they have a supermajority in both New York State and New York City. They run every single house in the state. They didn't run all the houses up until around 2014. The Republicans ran the New York State Senate. They lost then. So they have a supermajority. So it's not just Mamdani. It's people like the Public Advocate of New York. It's the Attorney General of New York and so on, the district attorney. These people are all for defunding the police. They're all for what they call cashless bail. They're all for not prosecuting misdemeanors. So it's not just the Mamdani personality and his Islamofascist and communist tendencies. He met the needs of the city council as well. It fits in like a glove, these personalities. So there's not like there's somebody to talk to right now. Unfortunately, he has said he's going to keep in place the Commissioner of Police, Mrs. Tisch, I believe her name is. And we'll have to see how long that lasts for. If she stays in, there's a chance that police will be protected and will be protected. I think that's a facade. I think that's a lie. He's going to get rid of her shortly. And there may be no one to really talk to. So what's going to happen is leaders of faith are going to have to get up and speak out loudly about what we're concerned about, which means Christian leaders in the African-American community. African Americans make a large percentage of New York. Jewish leaders. I had the privilege of meeting with leaders from the Hindu community that were all against Mamdani. I interviewed one for the rally. Hispanic Americans were against him as well. We're going to have to build a real faith-based coalition, I believe. African Americans, Jews, Hindus, and Latinos, Hispanics, and I think together we may have a chance, but we have to create some type of coalition that's very vocal in order to really have people listen to our needs.
So if Representative Stefanik's going to run for governor, she needs to meet with him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And we'll see what happens here, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on New York right now. But that's an interesting proposal, a faith coalition with a very, very broad spectrum.
Yeah, but they all recognize one thing, that without that coalition, they're going to be marginalized.
Yeah.
Maybe except for the Islamic faith. But I'm just wondering if New York's ready for minarets to be blasting in Times Square.
And let's ask, okay, so they're talking about defunding the police, talking about cashless bail. We see what happens when those things, come to fruition, and that is crime rates rise. And then what we see is fudging of numbers from the left. And then they try to make crime, appear that doesn't appear in the columns that it normally would. This can be a hard one for them to deal with if they do, if they unfold their plans and they lay them out and they go through with them as they've been saying.
Yeah.
How are they going to spin this?
Well, the legacy media will spin it for them as being something. But, and again, remember, as I said earlier, it looks like to me the legacy media is losing its punch.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But secondly, and perhaps most importantly, New York will go broke.
Yeah. Yeah. But
you can't afford to live there.
Yeah.
So the very thing you ran on, affordability, they'll run out of money. As Margaret Thatcher said, socialism's wonderful until you run out of the other person's
Don't
dime.
worry about it. Gavin's going to run for president. He's going to make New York, California again.
Oh, there we go. All right,
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, I got Todd Friel coming up. Whoa. Oh, gosh. I'm looking at this topic. Do I really want to talk to him about this?
What? Who you? Tell me.
Powerless preaching.
Oh, really?
What is that?
What? Talks about powerless preaching. Are these feel-good messages from the pulpit?
I don't know.
I wonder.
I do know this.
Do you have time for Todd?
Does Todd have time for me?
I can't wait, honestly.
Plagiarizing in preaching.
Okay.
It's gone on for years.
Yeah, is it about to enter a new level? And if you have AI write up your sermons, is that plagiarism or is that just?
Well, it certainly lacks the Holy Spirit.
Oh boy, I would say so.
Okay, there you go. All right, go
okay. Well, we love those online videos that make us smile, and boy, do I have one for us this morning.
Today's feel-good moment takes us to Denmark, where a local daycare has turned one muddy puddle into a parade of pure childhood joy. A new video shows toddlers queued up at the edge of a giant wet puddle, each eagerly lined up and waiting their turn, then leaping in with whoops and laughter. In Scandinavian kindergartens, this kind of messy outdoor play is more than fun, it's encouraged. Splashing, jumping, and getting muddy helps kids build resilience, creativity, and confidence. The children, dressed for the occasion, took their puddle hopping seriously. And the internet? Well, it's absolutely smitten. Sometimes all it takes is a puddle, a little mud, and a whole lot of joy to remind us of life's simplest pleasures.
Farm kids have known this for a long time.
There's a... maybe we can find it for next hour, but there was one floating around yesterday on social media where this little boy was out in the mud puddle playing with his dog, and both him and the dog were just covered with mud.
Oh, I love it.
And so the little boy is standing next to the dog, and the mother says, "Where'd you get all that mud?" And the little boy reaches over and touches the dog. And the moment the little boy touches the dog picks up his paw and touches the boy. It's kind of like, no, I got it from him. No, I got it from him.
I love a boy and his dog.
It's good stuff all the way around. Well, like I said, Todd Friel will be with us. Joel Block will be with us. Michael Pack will be with us, producer and director of The Last 600 Meters. So we'll talk to him about that. A lot going on there. And be careful. We got a lot of, by the way, it's a day off, isn't it? Banks are closed.
Yeah.
Schools are closed.
Yeah.
Government offices are closed.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Take with you Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. But Jesus looked at them and he said, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." Remember, God's specialty? Impossibilities.
You are everything I need.
A lot of non-believers listen and watch the Dove because we're able to take the news and the inspiration and put it together in a way that they can enjoy it and feel safe with it. I didn't know at the time that we were creating a new model. but I felt in my heart it was the right thing to do, to create an all-encompassing media force that anybody could listen to and not only get current information, but be inspired and given hope.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why at Kelly's, it's automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. There are incredible nonprofits out there that accept cars just like me. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
Experience evangelism like never before.
It's not about finding ourselves. It's not about being true to ourselves. It's about being born again.
Way of the Master's dynamic co-host team delivers captivating witnessing encounters.
That makes you feel uncomfortable because you're doing things you know you shouldn't. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Bold street witnessing that will leave you inspired and equipped to share your faith. Watch Way of the Master Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 5 on the Dove TV. You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Salem, Portland, and the Willamette Valley. Seen on KWVT 17 and these Dove TV affiliates. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative. Helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. And here it is, Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. And today, let's see, just about everything's closed.
Yeah.
As far as business is concerned, as schools are concerned, banking is concerned. In honor of our veterans, and rightfully so. So we have a lot about that coming up a little bit later on the program. Nice weather out there, but a change is a-coming. And let's see here. They may get this thing called government reopened by tomorrow. I think they're going to try to pull the vote off in the House tomorrow.
When do you think stuff will start lining back up aviation-wise?
Well, for those who are going to get the $10,000 bonus, probably pretty fast.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up.
Okay.
But I don't know. Look, they got a week to get this thing together because of Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah.
So they got the rest of this week and all of next week to get things back full bore because the heaviest traffic season for traveling is Thanksgiving.
Do you think that was an influence on some?
Oh, no question.
Yeah,
no question. So, you know. But this was a loss. This was a loss by Schumer. Lost this one.
Speaking of which, how does this affect his future? Do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed yesterday, just kind of jumping around the news and everything. A lot of Democrats, and you know what? You know you're having a bad day when The View asks for you to be gone. All the members of The View were saying he needed to go.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's not as if The View's got any power, but you know they're a little bit of. an antagonistic.
Antagonistic. They're not only antagonistic towards people in general, especially those they don't have the same opinion as.
Yeah.
They're antagonistic about their management team. They fly right in the face when they're told to back off. They say, "Yeah, make me," and management doesn't.
Okay.
What's up with that?
Well, there's a couple things.
Okay.
Lawyers.
Oh.
Unions.
Oh, well, that's true. Good point.
Lawyers,
Yeah.
unions,
Yeah.
and weak management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
You know, you see that exit sign over that door right there? See it? Look over. See it? See it over there?
Yes.
I'd say to that, Chris, see that exit
See
sign?
that exit sign?
Have a nice
Use it. All right.
What do you got?
Well, it's Veterans Day. You mentioned it, and it honors all military veterans who served in the United States Armed Forces, and our hats off to you. It coincides with Armistice Day and Remembrance Day, which marks the end of World War I. These observances reflect the end of significant hostilities at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, when the armistice with Germany took effect. So, but the United States observed Armistice Day as well, but it evolved into the current Veterans Day in 1954. It was voted on, and that was under Eisenhower. To honor all veterans on this day, so we do exactly that. We only have one thing to eat. You may think this is redundant because we've talked about this recently, but not kind of in this term. It's National Sundae Day, and we've talked about hot fudge sundaes recently. We've talked about strawberry sundaes recently, but this is a day for all Sundays. And did you know that the name Sunday comes from the day Sunday? Not just because it's a popular day to enjoy the treat, but early versions were often served on Sundays, and partly due to blue laws that restricted the sale of soda on the Sabbath, ice cream parlors got creative, and instead of pouring soda over the ice cream for an ice cream soda, they used syrup instead, and the sundae was born. And now there are some variations on it. The Japanese parfait is a version of a sundae that often includes layers of fruit, cornflakes, and even cake. In Scotland, they have a popular treat called the poke, which is essentially a sundae served in a cone, blending the convenience of an ice cream cone with the layered delight of a sundae. And bacon sundaes have gained popularity. I would go for this, combining the salty crunch of bacon with the traditional notions of, it's like kind of like a bacon on a maple bar. I'm hip. I can try that. And then, of course, there's the garbage can sundae, a testament to the indulgence of Sundays, featuring multiple scoops of ice cream and every topping imaginable. It is a celebration of excess and variety in the form of a sundae. And remember, in the days before social media, Sundays kind of filled that purpose in some ways, because remember ice cream socials?
Ice cream socials.
Yeah, people would come together and have sundaes and various ice cream treats and sit and chat about, you know, their day and the stuff in their life and stuff that we now post online.
Did you ever go to a Farrell's?
A Farrell's? No, I know that name too, and I've never been to a Farrell's.
They were an ice cream place, and they just, I don't know what about it. It was so unique, but they just sold a lot of ice cream.
Okay.
But they had this thing where it was like it was at least 2 feet tall of ice cream.
Oh, I've seen that.
And you got an award if you ate the whole thing.
Okay.
But anyway, they have ice cream parlors and all that. It was kind of like the supercharged ice cream parlor.
Okay. You know the only Farrell's I've seen? Feral cats that live underneath my bridge. I'm not kidding you. They do. I have feral cats under the bridge.
Okay. You're kitty. All right. Well, okay. Listen. Well, he's kind of a feral himself. He lives in Eagle Point, and he does the weather.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a lull in the weather before another front moves in, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s from Vancouver through Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing with partly sunny skies as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 56 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, near 58 in Eugene, with showers moving in tonight. In Central Oregon, patchy fog in Prineville, then mostly sunny in mid-60s. Mostly sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 60s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny and calm with a high near 62 and lows in the mid-40s. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Port Orford with a high near 60, but patchy fog, then mostly cloudy for Coos Bay with a high near 64, Brookings near 58, and Crescent City, California in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog in the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin, then mostly cloudy near 63 in Grants Pass, but clearing to partly sunny in mid-60s for Medford and Ashland and near 61 in Klamath Falls. Into Northern California, partly sunny in Wairika with a high near 63, partly sunny for Redding and Chico with daytime high temperatures near 73, and mostly cloudy and calm in Sacramento with a high near 74. Mostly cloudy today across the Bay Area with daytime highs in the mid-70s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 73 in San Francisco, and near 80 in San Jose with a calm wind becoming northwest around 5 miles per hour this afternoon. A snapshot of your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
A little bit of a shot that shows you that we're socked in.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're below there.
Yeah.
You can't even see us. We're in there and then the fog this morning. But IFR to VFR on top.
But are they taking off and landing? I
No,
don't
it
hear
tells me
anything.
it's below minimum, so pretty thick out there in some areas.
Kind of works out well for us sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Always.
Okay, well, we know that, boy, there are a lot of stuff, especially in the day and age in which we live. On the internet, you get a lot of information, but you start sorting through it and you think, what's true, what's not true? How can I verify this? Well, Dr. Anthony George has a great message here. He encourages us to weigh everything we hear by the Word of God.
Isaiah put it this way: all we like sheep have gone astray, and everyone is turned to his own way. Our fallenness, our sinfulness has tainted our ability to think clearly and to see clearly. And that's why we always must be hitting the reset button of our mind, coming back to the written word and to the living word, and assessing what is right and wrong and what is true and false. And I don't want you to think that in listening to this sermon today, we're talking about a merely intellectual or academic exercise. This is a spiritual exercise. When we're talking about our minds, listen, this same Paul who wrote Philippians 4:8 to think on these things said 2 chapters early in the second chapter of Philippians, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. So when you're talking about engaging your mental faculties and thinking critically, you're talking about a basic component of discipleship. Meaning that there shouldn't be such thing as Christian thinkers and Christian dupes. Whoever is a follower of Jesus should be an analytical thinker, weighing everything you hear and are exposed to by the Word of God. That's very important.
Well, it's true. Do you do that? Even with all the political strife, do you step back and say, what's God saying here?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I just want to remind you, I got this box here in front of me. This is the Operation Christmas Child box, and these are being gathered now, put together. You have about 2.5 weeks to get them filled and then to your drop-off place. So if you've done this, you know what the program's about. If you haven't, Google Samaritan's Purse Operation Christmas Child, and you fill these boxes full of special things for young boys or young girls, and then you get them to one of the drop-off places. They're gathered up, world children literally all over the world. Yeah. We have a few boxes here, so if you're in the neighborhood, in the local area, I think we have maybe a couple of dozen here that you can come by and pick them up if you need some, if you've never done it. But chances are your church is already involved in this. By the way, Anthony George, there, Dr. Anthony George.
Yeah.
You know how many his church is going to do this year?
No.
Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
10,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
10,000 their church is going to do this year.
Goodness.
So millions of these go all over the world. So anyway, be praying about it, get involved, and if you're in the area and you need one, come on by. We have a few left. All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. And as you know, the Senate has passed, the vote. It was 40 to 60 to get the government reopened again. The lone Republican that said no was Senator Rand Paul, and apparently in the CR, the continuing resolution, there was a measure that, or within the measure, there was a provision that said unregulated sales of intoxicating hemp-based products at gas stations and small retailers. It preserves the sale of non-intoxicating CBDs and other hemp-related products, and he was against that, so he voted no. But it got through the Senate anyway, okay? In the meantime, whatever it was, apparently the only thing we understand now, and I don't know all the details, is that the continuing resolution extended the date as to when they would finish arguing the government's budget, so to speak. And the president said yesterday he read it, he likes it, it's a good deal, send it to my office, I'll sign it. So he's on board with it. He's ready to go. In the meantime, the president, looking back over the mess that this has created, especially with air traffic controllers, he basically said on social media, on Truth Social, he said all of the air traffic controllers must go back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. For those air traffic controllers who were great patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democratic shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person.
That was good if you could hold out. You know, you empathize with those who couldn't, who had bills to pay and, you know, maybe had to go work a second job or something to get it done.
Yeah, but you know, they're going to get their back pay.
Right.
So if they get this thing open, apparently it is scheduled for the House tomorrow. Speaker Johnson, we'll have a little bit later on that, but he's going to try to get it to the House tomorrow for vote. So that means everybody's got to get back in town and vote for this thing tomorrow. This is an interesting one. Former Minnesota Representative Michelle Bachmann resigned from the Heritage Foundation National Task Force to Combat Anti-Semitism. She did that yesterday, slamming the think tank's board of directors for failing to hold President Kevin Roberts accountable. She said, quote, I resigned from the Heritage Anti-Semitism Task Force because Heritage leadership failed to stand against the voices of anti-Semitism on the political right. Bachmann, a former presidential candidate, said, and she said no, she's done with this. Now, even though President Kevin Roberts of the Heritage Foundation apparently, well, I watched it. He apologized for his remarks. He didn't condemn the remarks of the other people, primarily Tucker Carlson. So anyway, I watched it. To me, it was an angry apology. It wasn't a contrite apology.
So we've seen dust settling a little bit on this. She resigns. Speaking of resignations, what will happen to Kevin Roberts, do you think?
I think if I was sitting on that board, he's got to go, as sad as that is, because this is bad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And they have this commission, anti-Semitic, combating anti-Semitism.
Right.
And he goes on a show and doesn't condemn somebody who's anti-Semitic.
Right.
And he kind of agrees with them.
Yeah, so,
you kind of go, well, whoa, this is like the worst of the worst. So he said it was wrong, and I apologize. Well, why did you do it in the first place?
Yeah.
But moreover, is the integrity of the Heritage Foundation is really damaged here. They probably need to let him go and then let the dust settle and find something else to reemerge with, because this hurts. This is bad stuff all the way around. All right, those are some of the top stories. We got a few more coming up in just a moment on this Sunday, Tuesday. That's right. You'll like it. We'll be right back.
I remember somebody came into the studio when I first started, and they were puzzled because they looked at the mixing board that I work on, and there were all these little Post-it notes on it. And they were looking, and one of them said me, and one of them said CD1, and the other CD. And they were looking, and they said, Post-it notes, this doesn't make sense on a board. I said, I've never done radio before. I got put in here. So Pat Daly, who was the program director at the time, he lined me up and he said, this is your microphone. I said, hold on, Pat. And I filled out a little strip, me, I put on that. He says, oh, he started laughing. He said, this is your first CD player. And I posted that one. And I labeled every channel, so when it was time, because we're doing live radio, there's no pre-records or anything like that. So when you hit a button, you had to hit the right button, and I had no clue.
The Dove Radio, 65 years.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828.
All right, welcome back. Happy Tuesday, Veterans Day. A lot of folks have today off. Banks are closed, all that, and we decided to move the show outside.
Yeah.
So on this beautiful fall morning, you don't see any fog there.
No fog in our backyard.
No.
Yeah.
This is the Dove Wonderland.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is gorgeous. Yeah.
You want to go turkey hunting or something?
Yeah. Why not?
You know, the only good thing about playing golf in a place like that, what? You could lose your ball and cheat and nobody would know it.
Yeah.
All right, just kidding. All right, good morning to you. Some backyard news. Our governor finally signed the multi-billion-dollar tax bill to supposedly, figure out a $350 million ODOT problem. They fix it with a $4.3 billion 10-year tax. Well, anyway, she finally yesterday signed House Bill 3991. This leaves a little bit around 50 days for the opponents to get 78 signatures to put it on the ballot to delay its going into effect. Well, I received this, it looks like coming up November 22nd. There's going to be one-day statewide signature drive to get those 78,000. Now, there'll be other days, but they're going to try to push and see if they could do this in one day.
Wow.
So it's going to be a week from Saturday. Check with the Republican Central Committees in your county. Here in Jackson County, they've already announced the one-day statewide signature drive will be happening across Oregon on November 22nd. They're now training people to gather these signatures. So they're going to, get the right people doing the right things.
Okay.
So they can hopefully minimize the amount of signatures that will be kicked out. They only need 78,000 to put it on the ballot, but I think they're going to go for 100,000 plus, and they should be able to do that in one day.
I would hope so.
So anyway, be looking for it, and as those locations come available, and when they are properly announced, we'll let you know. But the signatures are out, or the petitions are out, and the signature gathering will start. Pretty good stuff.
You brought up a good point, Perry. You were talking about if this succeeds in getting this, these signed in enough signatures, and gets this on the ballot. On the same ballot will be this thing that the governor did and the governor herself.
She'll be on the ballot for re-election. She'll be on the primary ballot for to be the nominee on the Democratic side. Look, this is we don't like mail-in ballots.
Right.
Well, here's an opportunity. You're going to have to get out of your way and go sign this petition.
Yes.
And you'll prove a lot of points here.
Great
and if we get the signatures, the bill cannot be implemented until the people ratify it one way or the other coming up in May during the primary, the midterm elections, okay? So anyway, we'll see what happens.
Well, we know that the governor tried to restrict the ability to collect enough signatures by delaying signing this emergency measure that you had to pull everybody in, from their vacation time. So do you think that it will influence voters as they look at voting on this and then look at the creator or the person responsible for it? Will it affect her vote?
Absolutely. This is the one opportunity to connect the dots.
Yeah.
And the fact that it would get the signatures to be on the ballot, that her name's on the ballot?
Yes.
This is not a good day in their neighborhood.
Oh, I think you are right.
And so
yes.
get together. All right, here's an interesting story that came out yesterday. And the Pope, the new Pope, Pope Leo, he's quite a guy.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see him leading a horse the other day?
No, I didn't. No.
He was walking a horse around. Quite a guy. He wears ball caps.
He led him to water? Did he make him drink?
I don't know. He probably turned the water into wine. I don't know. Well, anyway, he came out with a decree yesterday. This is pretty interesting. The Pope Leo's office firmly rejects the claim that Mary, Jesus' mother, helped save the world from damnation, settling a debate that has baffled the the Catholic community by stating that Jesus alone redeemed humanity by his crucifixion and death. He goes on to say the Vatican's doctrinal office instructed Catholics to no longer give her the title of, quote, co-redeemer, as it carries the risk of eclipsing the exclusive role that Jesus Christ as Savior.
Wow.
Now, this has been confusing.
Oh, wow.
A lot of Catholics receive a lot of criticism for praying to Mary as if she is the equal to Jesus.
Right.
Now,
right.
This doesn't take from the reverence and the respect of who she really is.
Yeah.
She is the mother of Jesus, the earthly mother of Jesus. Okay, so basically what he's doing is putting Mary in her proper place. This is a big deal.
I think it is too. Are you surprised that they need to do this?
Am I surprised they needed to do this? That's a good question. I think this will help them a lot.
Okay, all right.
A lot, to not get confused by this. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for this. Well, there is no Wall Street. The only thing I can say is thank you, Preston. So that's what's happening. That shouldn't be there. That's not true. So anyway.
All right. Well, we're all focusing in on the government getting restarted, and of course, how it affects our travel plans. Boy, it's interesting when you hear some of the numbers of people that have really struggled. And we saw it firsthand in our family recently. But Newsmax's Greta Van Susteren spoke with House Speaker Mike Johnson, who responded to the question of President Trump wanting to recompense air traffic controllers $10,000 for coming to work with no pay.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we have a lot of sympathy for them. I share the president's opinion on that because, I mean, these air traffic controllers have one of the most stressful jobs in the world, and then you add on top of that the layer of complexity that they're not getting paychecks and they're having to figure out also how to keep their families fed. I mean, we're asking them to do something that's almost inhuman. The president wants to reward their sacrifices, and I like the idea. Of course, it'll require an act of Congress, I'm sure, to have those bonus payments go out. But it's something we have to look at very closely. But it's not just air traffic controllers, of course. We've had Border Patrol agents, TSA officials, and, you know, you have the troops got paid because the president and the administration bent over backwards to find the funds. But those funds were running out, and this got very, very serious. So those who sacrifice so much to keep the rest of us safe, whether with air travel or in our national defense, have to be prioritized, and I think you hear that reflected in the president's idea there. There were so many Democrats, I could begin to name them, a long list, Senate and House Democrats, who said the quiet parts out loud and said, well, this is our leverage. I mean, the pain of the American people was their leverage. For what? For what? What did they get out of this? It was to give themselves political cover. And I explain this in my press conferences every day of the shutdown. The simple truth is a painful one. The fact is that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, who are the two leaders in both chambers of Congress on the Democrat side, are both from New York. And they saw the rise of the Marxists in New York City and the election of Mondami as mayor. And they're afraid that they're going to get a challenge from their left flank, from the far left flank in their next election cycle. That's 100% what this was about. Chuck Schumer had to give himself cover and try to prove to the far left in his party, the activists that run the Democrat Party now, that he was willing to fight Trump. Over what? And they used the American people's pain to accomplish that goal. In the end, I think it blew up in his face. I don't think it's going to work. I think it had the opposite effect. And now they're having all sorts of strife inside their own tent now because they disagree. That strife's going to continue. I think the Democrats are on a collision course inside their own tent because you have the Marxists trying to run out the old guard Democrats, and they got to figure out which future they want. And I think they're going to go further and further left.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he really did do a good job analyzing that, because that's exactly what's happening. The extreme left side of the party is so mad at the Democrats caving on this.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to get more and more radical. But I think the loser here is legacy media.
Why?
I mean, look, they had every reason to hold these guys in place, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that the media is just dividing into a gazillion pieces of pie.
Yes, it is. And obviously we saw that play out in the last election process. And it, again, I think just boils down to the fact that there are multiple news sources out there now for folks. They don't have to be stuck on legacy.
They go where people will go to the person they like, saying it the way they want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what's really good about this is that the nonsense part of journalism is being exposed. I mean, look what's happening at the BBC right now.
What?
Well, the BBC got caught editing some things that Trump didn't say and put it out as something that he did say. And the president announced yesterday, listen to this. First of all, at the BBC, like 7 or 8 top people resigned over this because they got caught. It was a complete raw hack job.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Guess what Trump's thinking about doing?
Suing them.
$1 billion. Now, I don't know how you sue somebody in the UK court if you're in America, but if you're president of the United States, you may have a little sway there. But
yeah, that could be.
But I mean, where do you go to get trusted? I mean, the media's got caught, so many times.
Wow.
Recently, and that's why young people are saying, you guys have lied to us so much. There has to be more to life than media lies.
Right. Does it surprise you it comes from the BBC?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first trip to the UK, on the wall at the United Christian Broadcasters headquarters in Stoke-on-Trent, we walked into the office there, and on the wall was the original BBC mission statement. And it was to propagate the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, have they gone off track.
And look where they are today.
Yeah.
It's like some of our universities that were seminaries.
Yeah, Harvard.
There you go.
Yale, yeah. Yes. Wow.
All right, so much for that nonsense. Where did that get us?
That got us to...
a break.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I'm just ahead of myself. I was thinking Sunday, Tuesdays.
Yeah, why not?
No, I'm not. You know what? I'm not in the mood for ice cream.
Okay. Wow.
As much as I like it.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
You want to take my temperature?
Yeah. Whoa, yeah.
We'll be right back.
You are my refuge, you are my strength. As I pour out my heart, these things I remember. You are faithful, God.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Well, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. It is Veterans Day, and for the most part, anything government, banking, school is pretty much closed today. So keep that in mind. We have a special thought on that coming up in just a moment. But first, historic day yesterday as the White House hosted the president of Syria.
Yeah.
What was a first?
Yeah.
And so let's check in with CBN News Watch and get caught up.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Tuesday, the 11th of November. I want to begin this half hour in the Middle East, where the Trump administration is working with Israeli leadership on what will happen in Gaza, including the fate of 200 trapped Hamas terrorists, and the historic meeting in Washington where Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa made history as the first Syrian leader invited to the White House, with President Donald Trump indicating it was a good meeting. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us this story.
President Trump called Syrian President al-Sharaa a tough guy from a tough place and a very strong leader.
I liked him. I get along with him, the new president of Syria. And we'll do everything we can to make Syria successful because that's part of the Middle East. We have peace now in the Middle East, first time that anyone can remember that ever happening.
Trump lifted decades-old sanctions on Syria after former al-Qaeda terrorist al-Sharaa toppled Syrian President Bashar Assad last year, ending the brutal Assad regime. Trump says he also wants to see a lasting peace between Syria and Israel.
We're working also with Israel on, getting along with Syria, getting along with everybody, and that's working amazingly.
In an interview with Fox News, al-Sharaa said he doesn't see Syria entering the Abraham Accords with Israel in the near future.
Syria has borders with Israel, and Israel occupies the Golan Heights since 1967. We are not going to enter into a negotiation directly right now. Maybe the United States administration with the President Trump will help us reach this kind of negotiation.
Known in the Bible as Bashan, the Golan Heights was given to the half-tribe of Manasseh. Israel gained control of the Golan Heights in the 1967 Six-Day War. During his first term, President Trump recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Al-Sharaa said he and the president talked about changing Syria's perception and role in the Middle East.
We talked about the president and the future. We talked about the investment opportunities in the future in Syria, and so that Syria is no longer looked at as a security threat. It is now looked at as a geopolitical ally, and it's a place where the United States can have great investments, especially extracting gas.
According to reports, Syria confirmed it would join the global coalition against ISIS, though no announcement has yet been made. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Trump's envoy Jared Kushner met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to discuss the ceasefire agreement. Kushner is leading talks to secure safe passage for about 200 Hamas terrorists trapped in tunnels on the Israeli side of the Yellow Line. Israeli government spokeswoman Shosh Bedrosian refuted Turkey's claim that they are civilians.
And Turkish propaganda cannot change the fact that they are terrorists. Terrorists who are with Hamas. Even Hamas admits its tunnels are for its terrorists and not for its people.
As details are being worked out for an international security force in Gaza, Netanyahu has stated that Turkish troops will not be included. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
I want to continue our coverage now with our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. He's joining us from Jerusalem. So, Chris, President Trump says he wants to see peace between Syria and Israel. Do Israeli leaders consider that a realistic possibility?
Well, Ephraim, I know in the past, not too long ago, they've said there's been some progress, but many people believe a deal may be still far off. There's two red lines right now, Ephraim. One would be to demilitarize the southern Syria, south of Damascus, and then protection for the Druze minority, and I would add the Christians in that part of Syria. Israel's really not going to tolerate any threat to those Druze in southwestern Syria. So that is a core issue. And as Al-Shara mentioned in that interview with Fox News, the status of the Golan Heights is very important. That's a core issue for both Israel and in Syria. Syria wants it back in any future negotiations. It's really a strategic site for Israel as well. It used to be a place where before the 1967 Six-Day War, where Syria could actually send artillery shells onto the Sea of Galilee and to many of the kibbutzim there on the shores at that time. So this is sort of a red line for both Syria and Israel. And as Julie said in her report, ironically, it was really President Trump who, in his first term, declared the Golan Heights sovereign Israeli territory. So I don't think Israel's going to compromise on their security needs. Perhaps there may be some sort of security agreement or non-aggression pact in the near future.
Well, I just find it so interesting that they've done everything they can to make peace.
Yeah.
And Hamas just keeps breaking all the rules, and they keep trying. Guys, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just amazing. All right, good morning to you. Another amazing person.
No. A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a lull in the weather before another front moves in, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid-50s from Vancouver through Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing with partly sunny skies as we move down the Willamette Valley with daytime high temperatures near 56 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, near 58 in Eugene, with showers moving in tonight. In central Oregon, patchy fog in Prineville, then mostly sunny in mid-60s, mostly sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 60s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny and calm with a high near 62 and lows in the mid-40s. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Port Orford with a high near 60, but patchy fog, then mostly cloudy for Coos Bay with a high near 64, Brookings near 58, and Crescent City, California in the low 60s. In southern Oregon, patchy dense fog in the Rogue Valley and Klamath Basin, then mostly cloudy near 63 in Grants Pass, but clearing to partly sunny in mid-60s for Medford and Ashland and near 61 in Klamath Falls. Into northern California, partly sunny in Wairika with a high near 63, partly sunny for Redding and Chico with daytime high temperatures near 73, and mostly cloudy and calm in Sacramento with a high near 74. Mostly cloudy today across the Bay Area with daytime highs in the mid-70s for Santa Rosa and Napa, near 73 in San Francisco, and near 80 in San Jose with a calm wind becoming northwest around 5 miles per hour this afternoon. A snapshot of your Tuesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Yep, we're pretty much socked in this morning, and that's a picture from the east side to the west side, I think.
Yeah, I don't
You know what? That could be the other way around. Oh, no, the sun. I can tell by the shadow. Okay,
Yeah, there's the shadow.
East side, this
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
sorry about that.
All right.
There you go. All right. What's up?
All right, well, it was born into World War II, but it was unveiled on this day in history.
On November 11th, 1940, a rugged little vehicle rolled onto a test field in front of the U.S. Army and rolled straight into history. It was the Willys Quad, the first prototype of what we'd come to know simply as the Jeep. Designed in just 75 days to meet the Army's urgent call for a lightweight, all-terrain, general-purpose vehicle, the Willys quickly proved itself tougher and more reliable than anything else on the battlefield. By the end of World War II, more than 600,000 Jeeps had been built, carrying troops, hauling supplies, even serving as ambulances. General Eisenhower called it one of the 3 decisive weapons of the war. And after the fighting stopped, the Jeep came home. Willys was given the go-ahead to build and sell the Jeep for civilian function, transforming it from war hero to symbol of American adventure, freedom, and the open road, especially a road that wasn't paved.
How about that? I guess General Eisenhower thought a lot about that little Jeep. He thought it was one of the 3 key elements.
So when did Willys become Jeep?
53, they were sold, Willys Overland Company, and they were sold, and then there were a couple changes in ownership after that, developed into the Jeep brand. But yeah, in fact, there's, maybe I'll have to do that story too. There is a story on how it went from the Willys Quad to the Jeep. Where did that term come from? That's a whole story in itself.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to it. Yeah.
Well, going from the Willys being, key ingredient to winning.
Yeah.
To today is Veterans Day, and this is I think this little video piece sums it up for us.
For the freedom you fought for, and the flag you stood for. For the country we cherish, and the people we love. For the bravery you showed, and the fortitude you held. For the days of dedication, and the nights of devotion. For the miles you walked, and the skills you learned. For the months of training and the years of service. For the memories you carry of the battles you saw. For the legacy of your courage and the honor you deserve. When our nation needed you most, you answered the call. A deep and unshakable sense of allegiance and responsibility. You were bold. You did not hesitate, and you did not walk away. You were gone for holidays and anniversaries and birthdays, because while we were living in peace and freedom, you were fighting for it. Thank you is not enough. We can't repay you, but we will promise to remember. You are the reason we can sing the land of the free and the home of the brave. You are the heroes among us. You are not forgotten. You are the veterans. We remember your courage. We honor your sacrifice. And we thank you today.
And every day.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
We've had some wonderful moments at the Dove, and it has always revolved around things that God's doing in this ministry. From a little radio station when we're over on Alder Creek, and as we started to grow over onto Disc Drive, and then this vision that came to Perry and the opportunity to go into TV and the Dove Television Network, and what has developed through it, and the response of God's people who support the Dove and stand with us. It's been absolutely stunning, not only the growth that's happened in the Dove, but the impact that the Dove has had on listeners and viewers. This is all a supernatural thing. God's fingerprints are all over it, and I am never, ever, I never ceases to amaze me how active the Lord has been involved in this ministry and been nothing short of miraculous.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years.
Faith isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be worn boldly, shared joyfully, and lived daily. At wearyourjesus.com, every piece isn't just clothing. It's a conversation starter. Whether at school, work, or your favorite hangout, your style can point to the hope of Jesus. Visit wearyourjesus.com today and be bold in your faith. And for a limited time, use the discount code below at checkout to save big. That's wearyourjesus.com. Wear it, live it, share it.
Every day in Southern Oregon, lives are shaken by poverty, violence, and hardship. Last year alone, the Salvation Army reached more than 11,000 people in Jackson County with food, shelter, and critical support. Behind every meal served, every family housed, and every life restored, there's a volunteer making it happen. Please join us. There are many ways you can volunteer and make a difference in someone's life today. The Salvation Army doing the most good together. This message made possible by the Oregon Health Authority Hospital-Based Intervention Grant.
All right, welcome back. Of course, one of the big stories this past week and has been the mayor-elect now of New York City, Mamdani, and his decision to defund the police. They're down 7,000 police officers. 4,000 are expected to take retirement early starting in January. So I asked him, Rabbi Daniel Schobrook, now he's in New York City, and he held quite a rally there against Mamdani.
Oh, okay.
So he's very active there in the city. And I said, Rabbi, if Mamdani continues to defund the police and crime goes crazy, is this a bait for the president to send in the National Guard? And how will that be received? You know, is this all possibly so calculated out that they can make the president messy by upping the crime rate in New York?
Great question.
That is a bait for the president to take, or does the president sit back, you elected this, you deal with it?
Live with it.
Yeah. So anyway, here's what the rabbi had to say.
Well, if you look at the history of most extremist societies, governments, specifically communist governments, what they look for is they look for a common enemy. Let's assume that everything he promises will fail. Why do we know that? Because it's failed everywhere else. He's going to have to find a common enemy. So I would predict Mamdani is going to pivot very quickly to start blaming all the ills of things not happening in New York on Donald Trump. And that's the situation, and on the Jews and on Israel. He used anti-Semitism, or what they call anti-Zionism, which is the same thing. He used it very effectively to, it's kind of the opiate of the masses, as we say, right? So he used that effectively, and that's what these totalitarian governments tend to do. They find external enemies. They don't take personal responsibility. And I think that's what's going to happen. His policies will fail. He's going to turn this into, as he's done already, Mamdani versus the Trump show, which will also pull in other powerful forces like AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, all from the squad as they're known. This will be a rallying call that somehow Trump is hurting New York, where all Trump wants to do is protect and save New York from what's about to happen. They have to turn to God right now. We've been here before. I mean, I can talk to Jewish New Yorkers. I can talk to Christian New Yorkers as well about this. Jewish and Christian society have been the victims of Islam for about 1,300 years. And the best thing that we can do is go back to church, go back to synagogue, strengthen our faith. I believe, as I talk about in my writings and my books, I mean, the breakdown of Western society, which allowed all this liberalism to come in, was when we took God out of society. When we put God back in, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we're healthier, we're stronger, we're more effective. What we're witnessing now is the breakdown of the removal of God from society, and we got to bring him right back in. And one of my previous books called Think It'll Be Good, one of the chapters was called, Should We Keep God in the Waiting Room? Which most secular psychologists suggest we do. I said, no, we got to bring back God into the therapy room. We had to bring him into the session with our clients. We have to bring him back in society if we're going to survive and if we're going to thrive.
Wow.
That is so beautifully said.
Yeah.
I mean, he's absolutely spot on with that. And the question is, are we? And what's interesting to me, it appears that people are turning to God. Are we prepared to receive them and not judge them because they're not at the level of their relationship with God that we are? You got to remember, nobody was born full grown.
Right.
Paul talks about this in Corinthians when he says, you know, you are on the milk and not on the meat. So in other words, he's basically saying you got to understand that there's a level of growth. And even in us, even people who've been in the faith for a long time, it's called sanctification. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing in your faith, you're subtracting from your faith. So let's be prepared for this. But he is absolutely right. Can we and will we be known for putting God back into society? You know, are we going to be seen for doing this? Now, on the other side of that, it could be, the other article that I read is the president understands exactly what's going on, and he may say for quite a while, let New York melt under this nonsense.
Yes, he may. And you know what? He may have his hands tied because we still don't know the outcome of the Portland situation, do we?
No. But he may look at New York like he looked at the United States. We had to go through Biden to get Trump. New York may have to go through Mondami to get another Giuliani.
You know what? That could be true.
So you've got to just kind of let it cycle through. But that doesn't mean you go home and take a nap and wait for it's over. You got to be involved in this thing.
It's interesting, too, because he brought up a great point. He said all the things that Mamdani wants to do will fail. And how do I know that? It's because it's always failed in the past.
Right.
Okay, so that sets up a showdown between the Mamdani administration and the Trump administration in the blame game. And, of course, we know who's going to carry the water for Mamdani. Not only the radical left, but here we come back to the legacy news media. How will they handle this?
Well, the legacy media is always going to be there for them. But the problem is, and I had this argument with Bob Just.
Oh.
You know.
Okay.
And I have to say, I love you, Bob, but you're wrong. Okay.
Okay.
We're media people. I watch this stuff.
Yeah.
I read these periodicals. I read the trade magazines. I'd rather go have root canals, but I got to stay up with things, you know.
Yeah.
But if you take all the legacy ratings and add them up, they still don't add to the total of the primetime shows just on Fox, let alone Newsmax.
What does Bob disagree with on this?
He thinks they're still influential, and I said they're not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, is The View really setting the tone for America? No, The View's setting the tone for the radical left.
Right, they're just preaching to the choir.
They're just loud.
Right, yeah.
And so the interesting thing is, and entertainment is so different today. I mean, boy. You know, I'm really wondering how long theaters are going to be in business.
Oh, yeah, true.
You know.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll see with Mondami. I really believe that President Trump loves his hometown so much so that he may let it hurt in order to fix it. They may have to suffer the pain before they can understand the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Very true.
Okay. Well,
hey, you know what we need?
Ice cream.
And we need one of those online videos that makes you smile.
Okay,
they pop up at us and they get us. And I have one for us this morning.
Oh, I think we got two.
Oh, excellent. Well, let's look.
All right.
Today's feel-good moment takes us to Denmark, where a local daycare has turned one muddy puddle into a parade of pure childhood joy. A new video shows toddlers queued up at the edge of a giant wet puddle, each eagerly lined up and waiting their turn, then leaping in with whoops and laughter. In Scandinavian kindergartens, this kind of messy outdoor play is more than fun, it's encouraged. Splashing, jumping, and getting muddy helps kids build resilience, creativity, and confidence. The children, dressed for the occasion, took their puddle hopping seriously. And the internet, well, it's absolutely smitten. Sometimes all it takes is a puddle, a little mud, and a whole lot of joy to remind us of life's simplest pleasures.
You know what they should have done at the end?
What?
Had them all come in and just stomp.
Just stomp together. Yeah.
Okay, so how about young boys and dogs in mud?
Okay.
Do we have that, guys?
That sounds good.
I think we do. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. How did this happen? Who is responsible? Are you kidding me right now? We'll talk about this inside.
Two dogs and a little boy, and they're all
pointing at each other.
They all blamed each other. I love it. Well, you know, there's a good point, though, because, you know, playing in the mud sometimes is frowned upon, but there are some advantages to letting your kids play in the mud.
You know, I'm a firm believer of dirt.
Yeah, well, you're a farm kid, aren't you?
Yeah. You know, there's a thing called dirt therapy. Can be done in gardening, can be done in all kinds of things. For us guys, just getting on a tractor and just moving a mound of dirt around.
Right.
You know. But no, I just think, you know, we lived in the country. We had mud puddles. We felt. You know what was really cool?
What?
Is we had a Jeep. When I was a kid, I rolled it. I remember that.
Oh, no, really?
It was one of those things I couldn't.
My
cousin and I rolled it, and I thought, how in the world did we survive?
Yeah.
You know why we rolled it?
Why?
Because we were driving through. I was told as a, and I didn't have my license, so I was really young. I was driving the Jeep, and he said, we were told it's better to drive through the middle of a mud puddle than to drive around the edges. Because it's softer and muddier around the edges than it is going through the hard part.
Okay.
Well, we did that. And as we went through the mud puddle, we got to the soft edge on the other side.
Oh.
And it did this.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So when we did the Jeep thing earlier, you were speaking from firsthand experience on their easy to roll over. That's great. I love
we
it.
had the top down. And it had one of those pop down windshields, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we banged it up pretty.
So let me ask you this: there were no seatbelts. Where did you end up?
Well, you know what really was cool was I went this way, and it bounced, and he went out, and it came down. Otherwise, he would have been underneath it. It was really a dumb thing. I mean, it was dumb.
Well, the hand of God might have been on you guys.
Well, that, and I ended up filling sandbags for quite a long ways after that. That was my punishment. I had to fill sandbags.
Did the Jeep survive?
Yeah, Jeep survive anything.
Good.
Matthew 19:26. But Jesus looked at them and said, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." Remember, God's an impossibility specialist.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
We started in Christian radio right when some of the great communicators were coming online. Dr. James Dobson, Charles Stanley, Chuck Swindoll. A lot of these people were just starting their programs on radio in Southern California. We reached out to them and put them on the Dove. Some of those programs have been with us now over 40 years. And so in some ways we were kind of like the pilot, the mothership.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
The Dove TV, encouraging and informative with Focus Today, weekdays. Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and been looking forward to our guest today, Michael Pack. He's the producer and the director of The Last 600 Meters. He's also the president of Manifold Productions, the award-winning film company that he founded in 1977. He has written, directed, and produced many national broadcast documentaries, including the acclaimed film Created Equal, Clarence Thomas in his own words. Michael also served as the first Senate-confirmed CEO of the U.S. Agency of Global Media, overseeing Voice of America and other international broadcasters. He has previously led the Claremont Institute, served as the senior vice president at the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, and was appointed to the National Council of Humanities. Wow. What a resume. He does have a website, manifoldproductions.com, and there is the picture of the landing page there, manifoldproductions.com. Michael, good to see you, friend. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine. Where are you?
I'm in Chevy Chase, Maryland.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for being with us today. Tell us about your latest film, The Last 600 Meters. What's going on here?
I lost you.
Did you hear me now?
Shoot. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay. You got me now?
Let's see. Yeah, I got you. It's
okay.
A little echoey, but I got you.
Okay, there we go.
I'm in Chevy.
All right.
All right. I'm in Chevy Chase, Maryland.
All right. Oops. Thank you. All right. Tell us about your latest, The Last 600 Meters. What are you doing here?
Well, it premiered on PBS last night, but it's available on Amazon today. And it's called The Last 600 Meters because a Special Forces sniper says in the film, "I don't make foreign policy, I deliver the last 600 meters of it," meaning what he could see through his sniper scope. And that's the way we try to tell the story. It tells the story of the two biggest battles of the Iraq War. The first Battle of Fallujah, Najaf, and the second Battle of Fallujah. They were the biggest battles America fought since Vietnam. And we try to tell the story of what happened on the ground. Battle stories as if they were Gettysburg or Iwo Jima, historic battles, which they are. And we tell them through the words and deeds of the men and women who fought there. They look right at camera. They tell what happened without commentary from me or anyone else.
Wow. How many people did you talk to research this?
Well, the research began many years ago. So the battles took place in 2004. We conducted the interviews 3 years later in 2007. And we completed a version of it early on, and it took a while for PBS to agree to put it on the air. But I talked to many, many of them. Not all of them are in the final film. You just couldn't get them all in. But I think in the film itself, there are about 15, 20 people that we spoke to. I mean, it's important not to speak to too many because they are also characters in a film and you want to get to know them. And I think that the audience does get to know them. And I particularly think it's appropriate to talk about it, today, Veterans Day, because I think this is the way veterans want to be remembered, what they did in battle, what they did for America, not just stories like PTSD or their challenges coming home, although those are important stories. And I think these battles, these wars, Iraq and Afghanistan, have been neglected. And I'm happy to actually get this story out, especially yesterday and today.
Well, yes, congratulations, and thank you for doing it. Were you surprised by some of the interviews you got?
I really was. I mean, more than surprised, I found them moving. I mean, I've made many films. I've done over 15 that have been broadcast nationally on PBS. And your viewers, if they're interested, could go to our website, manifoldproductions.com, for the older films. And then some of the newer films are on our new website back here, palladiumpictures.com. But this was, I think, one of the most emotionally moving films I've ever made. It's not so much surprising to hear from these people as their stories were really moving. I think they changed me and actually my family, who are all involved in this film, forever. And I recently had a screening in Washington of the film, and we invited a lot of the vets that were in the film to come, and I saw them again after not having seen them for many years. And it was extremely moving again to meet them and hear from them. I just think their stories are incredible. I mean, their valor, their courage, and the peculiar difficulties of this kind of warfare, this kind of counterinsurgency, urban warfare that they had to fight. I think often on Veterans Day, we think about World War II, World War I, the big wars. But really, most wars are like this, counterinsurgency, and they have their special challenges, and we try to depict them in the last 600 meters.
If you don't mind me asking, Michael, how did it change you?
Well, I mean, to give one colorful example, I mean, when I conducted these interviews in 2007, I have 3 sons, and they were all in middle school and high school. And the day after meeting one of these groups of Marines, my oldest son wanted to enlist. He wanted to go out the next day to enlist. Luckily, since he was still in high school, the Marine said, well, maybe he should finish college first. Good advice from these young Marines. But I think that gives you an idea, this sort of appreciation of their courage and valor. I mean, my son is now a DC police officer, so a reservist police officer. So I think it affected his life that way. And all of us. I did not know a lot of veterans. I think one of the sad things about contemporary America is a lot of us are cut off from the military, and we were such a family. So this was a chance to meet and appreciate that part of the country that puts its lives on the line for us, sacrifices often sometimes the ultimate sacrifice for us, and see what those young men are like. And they were inspiring. At one point, PBS said, well, surely I use central casting to get such well-spoken Marines and soldiers. But they were really not. They were the ones in the footage. But they were very impressive that way. And it's changed my view of the military, changed my view. It kind of strengthened my patriotism.
Again, folks, the movie is called The Last 600 Meters, aired last night, but you can now get it there at Amazon. Michael, a lot of these people were young.
A lot of them were young. I mean, those that were lance corporals or sergeants, they were like in their late teens, early 20s. It was amazing what we're asking people at that age to do. I mean, they're fighting a war where they don't know whether someone is a civilian that they have to help or an insurgent that's out to kill them. I mean, it's a lot to ask. Breaking down door after door and not knowing what's behind it.
You talk about their courage a lot. Of course, what's interesting about this, you let them talk. You didn't narrate over the top of them. You let them talk. I think that's a fascinating aspect of the film. But how can I ask this? Where do you think they got the courage to go forward? I mean, you go in with the military with one anticipation. You go through all the training. Now you're facing real bullets. Where do they get the courage?
Indeed. I mean, it's hard to say where courage comes from. I mean, of course, they don't like you talking about this, and I consider them heroes, but they hate that term, and they would not like talking like this, but it's still the reality. I don't know. I mean, there's a sense that, they're carried away by their camaraderie with their friends. I mean, when this group got together now, 17 years after I interviewed them, 21 years after the battle, you can still feel the camaraderie. In some ways, as they said just recently, they're closer to their fellow Marines than they are to their family. They've gone through something, a near-death experience. I mean, the bond is intense. And they're moved by patriotism too, love of country, honor, country, duty. These things move them. At some level, you can never tell where courage comes from. There have been a lot of great novels written about it over time. The Red Badge of Courage comes to mind. Where does it come from? Who knows? It's sort of a mystery. But civilization has depended, especially on young men and now young women, having that kind of courage and defending this country, in spite of rational reasons not to show courage and run away, as you suggest, when real bullets are flying. Without that courage and without that generations of coming forth with that courage, America would not survive. So we depend on it. But I think, to me, it remains a mystery.
These young soldiers that go out, and the ones you've interviewed especially, their lives are forever changed as well. They come home with, which is often called PTSD. They faced it every day. How were you to process the change that they went through as they expressed their feelings to you?
Well, our focus was not that. So I talked to them about that more off camera than on camera. As one of the Marines in the film said, for those that are in combat, those that are actually in intense combat like Fallujah and Najaf, which is not a huge percentage of the military since there's a big tooth to tail ratio, the number of people supporting those at the tip of the spear. But those in combat, he made the point, all have PTSD. It's like a spectrum. from mild to intense. They all have to deal with those images that are burned into their mind. And our film has some of those. We do not want to soft sell the horrors of war. I mean, one of them talks about, and we show, feral cats and dogs at the end of the Battle of Fallujah, looking for dead bodies, to feast on, and we even see one. And, they're horrible images that they can't forget, as well as this very intense bond. So, it remains to me a mysterious process. I don't know how they deal with the PTSD of it. It's individual. I will say on that subject that we have a new film coming out in partnership with the Wall Street Journal. We're doing a bunch of short films with them on the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I did speak to those Marines that were at Abbey Gate at the bombing, at both and before and after, and what it's like for them to deal with what they saw. And that's, I think, also particularly horrible.
When will that be out?
That'll be out sometime next year. I mean, we'll have finished it by the end of this year. And I feel those Marines that had to decide who would live and who would die at the gates, sometimes bringing women and children out to the gates, releasing them where they know the Taliban was going to execute them, have to live with those images, which are peculiarly horrible. I mean, one of the people I interviewed there, Joe Lord, has a website to help Abbey Gate Marines, and I deal with that. And I think that's really important, really important.
I'm just curious, Michael, when you watch today's news, especially with the current battles, Gaza, Ukraine, how do you view that after doing what you've done?
I feel that there are a lot of similarities, especially in Gaza. I think Hamas utilizes a lot of the techniques that you can see in the last 600 meters, the insurgents using, such as hiding behind civilians, sheltering in mosques and hospitals, trying to get images that make the U.S. forces look bad to shift public opinion. It's the same thing all over again, and then manipulating public opinion to force U.S. withdrawals or Israeli withdrawals or Ukrainian withdrawals. So I feel that kind of battle is very much in play today and will be in the near future. Americans naturally do not like it, but sometimes it can't be avoided, just as it was for Israel on October 7th. They were not asking for it, but they were not asking for that war, but the war came, as Abraham Lincoln said of the Civil War, and sometimes this kind of war comes too. So yeah, I feel like we just need to understand them. I don't think you can say we'll never fight this kind of war. But you do have to understand what you're sending these young people in to fight when you agree to that kind of war, and give them the support they need, and give them, clear objectives as best as you can, not shifting military and political objectives. And you see in the film, the people on the ground have to deal with the changing winds from Washington, where they're first told to go into Fallujah, then pull out of Fallujah, go seize the mosque in Najaf, and then hand it over. So I think it's very tough for these soldiers and Marines to be buffeted by political changes. Some of those political changes are unavoidable, but we should do our best to make it easier for those on the ground that are doing the fighting.
We've gone through a season where the military has been disrespected. But now, as a result of your film and future films, is one of your goals for us to reestablish our support and understanding?
Absolutely. Absolutely, we should. I think that, as I say, it had that effect on me. I hope it has that effect on viewers. I think we have to, more than just respect them, we have to appreciate and honor them. I mean, that's the purpose of Veterans Day, but we should do that all year. We rely on these people. They're the ones defending us, and they really need our understanding and support. That's sort of more or less what they ask for. And I was moved when I showed it recently that so many of the Marines wanted to show it to their families, their children, their parents, because they have trouble talking about these kinds of things, the battles they're in. And I hope the film could speak for them, to their families, and to the public. And as you say, increase understanding and support for what these young men and women are doing for us.
Michael, thank you for your work. Again, tell our viewers and listeners where they can see the film.
Well, the film is streaming on Amazon. If you just plug in the last 600 meters, there it is. And you can find out more about it at manifoldproductions.com, and our newer films, like the upcoming one on Afghanistan, at palladiumpictures.com. My X account is michaelpack_, but really more of the information is on the websites, and I encourage your viewers to watch Last 600 Meters and our other films as well. And this is a great thing to talk about on Veterans Day. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your work, my friend. God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Black Flag Armory is celebrating Small Business Saturday, November 29th, with ginormous discounts just in time for Christmas. Saturday, November 29th, get rebates on select Winchester and select Browning firearms. Plus, you could win a thermal scope at the Small Business Saturday celebration. And Saturday, November 29th, great deals on Smith Wesson products too. Black Flag Armory in Medford and Grants Pass. More information at blackflagarms.com, blackflagarms.com.
Thousands of satisfied customers make Jim Clark's Consignment Country the most recommended RV consignment lot on the West Coast. Even dealers recommend us. That success comes from dealing with only the cleanest pre-owned RVs at the best prices, no high-pressured salespeople, and treating customers with respect. And we've been doing this in the same location for over 40 years. Before you buy or sell your RV, see why so many satisfied customers recommend Jim Clark's Consignment Country. Family owned and operated at 1630 Rogue River Highway in Grants Pass.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Answers with Bayless Conley.
Now it's no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me.
Find answers to life's biggest questions that can only be found in the Bible.
How much God loves people that he would give so much to redeem them.
Answers to strengthen your faith to know God better for a more deep, more powerful walk.
We were the sheep that went astray, but he was the lamb that was slaughtered.
Get Answers with Bayless Conley, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV.
Well, welcome back. And of course, we're within probably hours now of the government reopening. Did get through the Senate's back at the House. They could be calling it back into for a vote tomorrow. How damaging is this? Is the president's economy and proposed tariffs, all that stuff, is it working? Well, the perfect person for us to talk to today is our good friend Joel Block. He's a seasoned veteran capitalist, financial strategist, advisor, and conference speaker. And you can go to joelblock.com. That's his website. There's a picture of the landing page. He always has some great resources there, joelblock.com. Brother Joel, good to see you, buddy. Where you been?
Harry, how are you?
You've been hiding out somewhere. I haven't.
Oh, I'm just, listen, I'm just sitting around waiting for you to call me.
Oh, is that it? Okay. Good to see you, friend. Got a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. Hey, how would you, what would be the Joel Block take on the economy during this term of 10 months of President Trump?
Well, first, let me start by saying thank you to all of our great veterans, people who keep us safe and make it possible for us to live in this great country. So that's number one. But I am very bullish. It's interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he said, the way that the president's going about a lot of these things is just not right. It's just, not the way that we do things in the United States. And, I would say that this is one of these rare situations where a lot of the things that we do need to be broken and be rebuilt. Now, I'm not talking about the foundations of our country. I'm not talking about the Constitution. I'm not talking about our great institutions. What I'm talking about is the relationships that we have with countries, the global economy, which is 100 years old and has been doing things in an old way for a long time. This economy was started at a time when operators had to connect calls and Horses had to pull people around in carts. So, so the world is different and the president has broken it. But I am very bullish, and I think that what he's accomplished in just 10 months is nothing short of astounding. I think it's just absolutely remarkable. Now, has it created a lot of disruption, a lot of confusion, a lot of paralysis, a lot of unknown? Yes, of course. But the smoke's going to clear, and the world is going to be a different and better place not long from now.
Okay, he's facing probably the biggest challenge to his economy with the tariffs argument before the Supreme Court. I don't know if you listened to any of those audio tapes, but it didn't appear that the justices were happy about it. But you never know. I mean, sometimes they just get rough on their own.
Right, that's right.
The only thing, I guess the question is, how do you think that's going to go?
Well, I don't have any idea how the Supreme Court is going to move on this. I sure hope that they get behind the president, because I really like the idea of him being able to make some decisions. If it doesn't go his way, and it's possible it won't, he always has the option, instead of making big sweeping tariff things, where he can make them more specific. If he can make surgical ones, it's a lot more work for him to do it surgically, but he certainly can do that. So the impact may be the same, but the goal, to me, what people really are not getting is that the goal is not to have tariffs. The goal is to eliminate the tariffs that we pay other countries, create more or less really frictionless free trade. I mean, really a good free trade arrangement, and then charge other countries a privilege tax for doing business with the United States. If you want to do business with the greatest economy on the planet, then you're going to pay us a little bonus. And, just like we've been subsidizing these countries all over the world for years to help them get up and running, many of them are now up and running, and they're going to pay a privilege tax. And what he's been able to do, beside removing a lot of the tariffs, is he's been able to use these out of thin air, he made up the tariff out of thin air. He gets a country to make a concession, and then he takes this tariff out of thin air away. And he's brilliant at doing this. And he has gotten companies, countries, and the like to make commitments to the United States of trillions of dollars. We don't know exactly how much or what's exaggerated, but some number of trillions of dollars are going to be coming into the country. They're already starting to come in. Data centers are being built all over the country. Other things are being built. And this is going to create enormous numbers of jobs for high quality, these high skill red, white, and blue collar workers that we have, these great workers that are part of the United States. And they're going to be able to do better. And the economy is going to be strong. And it's going to be very strong going forward. I see it clear as day.
Okay, a couple things. How devastating was this shutdown?
Well, I'll tell you what, I am very unhappy with how the government handled this, just in general. I don't want to put the attack on any single person or party, but I think it's fair and square. I think it's been really bad. I don't think economically we're going to suffer that much, but there are people who suffered, and this should just never, ever be the way that we do business in this country.
We're seeing oil prices and layoffs start to climb. Is that a warning of something?
No, to me, listen, I think that every once in a while, you kind of have to take the rug, you got to shake the rug, and you got to, just kind of clean house a little bit. And I think there's a little bit of cleaning house. What we're hearing is that it's because of AI. We're hearing it's because of this. You have to be very careful, and you have to say to yourself, is it real or is it cover? And, are they hiding behind something? And AI is really easy for them to take cover behind. So if they have to let go of some people because they're cleaning house, because they need to cut costs, they don't always want to say they want to cut costs. They don't want to always say what the truth is. But they may just say, well, because of AI, we don't need all these same people. It may be true. It may not be true. COVID was great cover for companies. There have been other things that are great cover for companies, and they take advantage of that opportunity. And that's what's happening right now.
Where's inflation from your point of view?
Well, inflation is pretty much under control, but under control doesn't mean that prices are coming down. And that's a really big problem, is people think that if you can control inflation, which prevents prices from going higher, and they're going to go a little higher, they inch higher slightly over time. But unlike gravity, prices don't come down. A lot of this is driven by wages. When wages are $20 an hour for a lot of jobs, and I'm not talking about the minimum wage, but when you go work at almost any place, Burger King or any of the fast food places, people are getting $20 an hour. Some are getting even more than that. It's very difficult to make a hamburger for $2 or $3. And that's just the reality of it. And so we have prices that have gone higher over time, the expectation of workers to get paid more over time. Inflation has kind of led to that a little bit. And now we're stuck with higher prices and we have to readjust. And this has been in the making for a couple of years. I don't see that we're going to have reductions. So interestingly enough, now they're thinking about ways that they can bring some costs down. And you might have heard that they're talking about a 50-year mortgage. Well, that might bring the housing price down, not the house price, but the payment monthly for living in that house, and bring it down a little bit. And listen, as long as there's an imbalance of supply and demand in housing stock, and as long as the price of real estate continues to go up, that's not the worst thing. If your goal, like it was 100 years ago, to accumulate equity in your home so that you could pay it off and live a nice retirement, that's probably not the best plan.
One last quick question, Joel, and that is, it seems to me that why are we spending more concentrated effort of bringing the cost of energy down? Because that brings everything down.
Well, I mean, listen, the cost of energy is so fundamental in our society, but energy is changing. Energy is changing away from oil into not necessarily things that are sustainable, but they're moving toward nuclear because they just need so much. The demand for energy is so great that they have to find some new ways, and nuclear might just be the way. I'm not quite sure just yet if nuclear is going to end up being more or less expensive. I think on an ongoing basis, it's very inexpensive, but to get set up is probably very, very expensive. So the jury's a little bit out on how that's going to work, but I'll tell you that demand is very high. And they have to keep care of costs because it's just such an important input in everything that we do.
What happened to drill, baby, drill?
There you go.
Where'd it go?
We just have to produce more. That's all we can do.
Okay. Hey, good to see you. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Joel's website, joelblock.com. There's a picture of the landing page, and he has a lot of resources there. And check them out. joelblock.com. Good to see you, Joel, as always. Your shiny face.
Very good to see you, too.
All right, buddy. All right, stay in the game.
You too.
Okay.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory. Make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle,
but take care of you.
Okay, welcome back, and always, it's always a delight to have with us our good friend Todd Friel. Just make sure you got that straight. He's the executive director of Fortis Institute, the host of Wretched TV and Radio, which you see right here on the Dove Television Network. He's the author of several books, the producer of over 24 Bible studies, and his organization, Fortis Institute, is producing some of the best Christian media content out there. You can go to fortisinstitute.org is the website, fortisinstitute.org. And there is just a little bit of the variety of things that life without numb. I'm going to talk about that here in just a few moments. He has Road Trip to Truth. He just has all kinds of stuff going on, so check it out. Brother Todd, how are you, buddy?
Are you lost in the woods? Where are you?
You need to come to the West Coast because it's pretty here.
Hey, it ain't bad here either. It's lovely, right? This is premier Atlanta time. This is when you want to be in Atlanta. It is lovely here.
Are you going to be there next week? Oh, we lost you.
Where?
In your office.
No,
are you going to be in your office next week?
Oh, I didn't know what you were talking about. Am I going to be there? Am I going to be in my office? Yeah. Do you know where I am right now?
No.
Gary?
What? Where?
Actually, I'm in my home office.
Oh, there you are. That's why.
I've got a book deadline, and I am just chained to this desk until I get it done.
Oh, that's why you're frozen. So you got a weird face.
Oh, no. Am I frozen?
Yeah. Yeah, you're frozen. More than normal.
Make it stop, please. Make it stop.
I'll tell you what, let me take an early break. Let's see if we can reconnect with you because we want to see your. Well, that's a good picture. You know what? There's a picture that ought to be used on your new material. That's a great one. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to reconnect with you. So hold on. We'll be right back. Okay. I was 36 years old, and my wife and I decided to sell our house and buy a daytime radio station. And we moved to Southern Oregon, our young family. We came to Southern Oregon. So I had to go out early in the morning at sunrise, turn the station on at the transmitter site, run back into the studio, go on the air for a couple of hours, program the station during the day, and then at sunset go back out and turn the radio station off. That's how we started. And we did that for about 1.5 years till we were able to get a license to stay on the air 24 hours a day. After that, that was a huge move forward, but we were still a 1,000 watt radio station. Then eventually we got another frequency and another power increase. We went from 1,000 watts to 20,000 watts AM.
The Dove Radio, celebrating 65 years, encouraging and informative.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Clean water is essential to your good health. Ultra Pure Purified Water has been delivering purified, healthy drinking water to the Rogue Valley since 1995. Locally owned and family run, Ultra Pure Purified Water uses a multi-stage process ensuring your delivery of water is 99.8% pure, so your family stays hydrated and healthy. Online at ultrapurewaterinc.com or call 541-734-0828. 541-734-0828. At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
All right, hopefully we got this all fixed out. Todd Friel with us. There he is. Ah, yes, much better. Ah, there he is. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
I'm so sorry. Apparently, I'm glitchy.
That's all right. You're better than frozen.
Yeah, I'm still. It looks like I still might be a little weird.
Oh, that's all right. We know that. We've come to enjoy that part of you. Hey, listen. First of all, what is your new series called Life Without Numb?
Yeah, did you ever interview Greg Gifford with his new book called Lies My Therapist Told Me? It's from HarperCollins. It tackles SSRIs, psychotropic medications for depression, anxiety, etc. And it explains from a biblical perspective what the secular therapeutic is, what mental health is, and why the Bible has better answers for our emotional challenges.
No, I look forward to it. We've made arrangements for the 13 episodes, so we're going to be honored.
It's really good.
Good stuff. All right, I want to come to you're writing a book. What are you doing? I mean, you're on a deadline. What are you writing about?
I'm writing about, believe it or not, philosophical dualism. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying that humanity has had a plague really since the fall. And that plague is we have a tendency to divide our faith from reality. We have a tendency to divide our religion from the rest of our lives. In other words, we go to church, we'll perhaps read our Bibles, all good, pray as needed, but it feels like our life, Nancy Pearcey described it as having two floors. You know, my faith is up here, and I visit that on occasion, but on the main level, that's life, that's reality. So the book is intended to bring the two floors together and show there's just one floor. Reality is about one thing, Jesus Christ, period. And the question then, of course, is how do you go about bringing the two together? And historically, we've made all kinds of efforts that I just don't think are biblical. I think people have rightly identified that we have a separation of our faith and the rest of our lives. But we've created systems like monasticism. You've got to go away and live in a dank castle someplace and pray face down on a cement floor. And that's what it means to really be a Christian. Well, no, we're in the world, not of the world. That's not what it means to be a Christian. So the other systems would be the Amish, for instance, be separate, be living about 100 years behind the rest of society. Well, that's not what God calls us to. We can take advantage of human advancements for the sake of human flourishing. So we've come up with all kinds of systems to bring the two together. And so this is my attempt to show Christianity isn't a system. It's not intended to be this monolithic cookie cutter kind of thing that you and I do. Okay, wake up at 7, read your Bible for 15 minutes, pray for 12 minutes, read your Bible to your wife and kids, go to work, and 6 times a day think about your family and think about your God. And then, no, it's not intended to be that. So this book called Go Serve Your King, which will be out next year, is intended to be more of an organic way of living the 24/7 Christian life.
All right. Find a still picture of him. There we go. We're having problems with it, so we're going to put up another picture of it. All right. Let me ask you this. Do you think part of this problem that you're writing about is, well, I don't know how to ask this without asking it. Is it because of weak preaching?
What are you pushing my button this morning, huh? Is that what you're trying to do, Perry? Pushing my button?
Well, you know, yeah. Well, let me put it this way. I mean, it's easy to. I think we all look for people to blame for our weaknesses, you know, instead of taking responsibility. But on the other hand, I think one of the great issues that we have to address today is the preaching from the pulpit's biblical. And I say that almost with a broken heart. But if people are categorizing God as just a element of their life and not the center of their life, it has to be the result if they're not getting properly taught.
Well, preaching is a tricky thing. You know that, Perry. You've preached plenty of times. I think you've got two extremes when it comes to preaching. On the one extreme, you have got nothing but what I would call life enhancement or life hack preaching. We maybe talk about a Bible verse just for a second, but only to use it as a springboard into something that can be a list of to-do rules. How to be a better parent, how to manage your finances better, how to have a better golf swing, whatever it is. And it has very, 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 very little Bible in it. Sometimes they even use movie clips to preach on these life enhancement protocols. That's one extreme. On the other extreme, you've got yourself nothing but didactics. It's expository to the extreme. So here's parsing our Greek verbs. I'm giving you the historical context. I'm giving you all kinds of cross references, and I'm dumping information on you, but I'm not applying the Bible. So you've got nothing but application without Bible, and then you've got nothing but Bible without application. And I think that we got to find the zone in between where it must be found. Preaching has got to be grounded in the Bible. Otherwise, it's just my ideas. And who wants my ideas? But simultaneously, preaching is the distinction between preaching and teaching is found in a Greek. It's an old Hebrew word. It's called. Do you want me to repeat that for you, Perry? The Hebrew word is where it's like teaching is, hello, everybody. Please open your Bible. We're going to take a look at this verse and we are going to dissect it to pieces and you're going to know a lot about the verse. Okay. Preaching has to have some of that, but it has to have some unction. It has to have some punch. It has to have some power. And it certainly has to have some application. And so I think we've been very often missing the balance. How do we use the Bible as our foundation and make it applicable? And it is my observation, 9 times out of 10, we're missing the mark.
Is there a proper length that a sermon should be?
Yes. We all know that there's a fine line between a long sermon and a hostage situation. You got to find that line, preacher. You should preach, I think, for as long as you can, and for as long as the text demands, and for as long as the people can pay attention. Now, that's going to be different based on different contexts, the maturity of the body, the age of the group. I'm not going to preach as long to 12-year-olds as 22-year-olds or 42-year-olds. So I think there shouldn't be a rule. There's a famous megachurch preacher who was in his car saying that he just preached a sermon that was 36 minutes long. He was incredulous. I preached for 36 minutes. It was too long. Pastors, we're talking too much. Get it down to 20 minutes. Don't go over 20 minutes. And I said, well, 20 minutes might be appropriate if A, you're Lutheran. Sorry, that was a cheap shot, my Lutheran friends. Or B, you don't have the ability to preach very well or for very long, or the text simply doesn't matter. Don't stretch that text out beyond what it can bear, and don't put your audience to sleep. So I think that needs to vary based on all of those different dynamics that are involved in every single local church.
You use the term Christological, centered. What is that?
It depends on what century you're asking that question.
Well,
if you're asking that question in the first several centuries, then the answer would be every single verse, pretty much every single word is about Jesus Christ. Old and New Testament. We just see Jesus everywhere. And that's kind of what Christological became. It was well intended. The idea was when Jesus was walking on the road to Emmaus, he revealed to himself, revealed to the disciples himself in every book in the Bible. He said to the Jewish authorities, you read the books of Moses because in them you think you have life, but I tell you they testify about me. And so the entire book, the entire Bible is about Jesus Christ. Now, we don't think that he's in every single word, but he is definitely in every single book. And so preaching, if it does not ultimately point to Jesus Christ, will have missed the point. If a sermon could be preached in a synagogue and nobody would be offended, then it's not Christian preaching. So it must be about Jesus without forcing him into the text. And Perry, this is one of the things that I think is one of the reasons why so many people's faith is not as dynamic as it should be. When we point people to Jesus, we are causing them to stare at the greatest thing in the universe. Why would we not want to point them in that direction? When you stare at Jesus with unveiled face, you're transformed from one level of glory to another. And so I believe a Christian sermon, without forcing it into the text, it must be a relentless presentation of our great King who is like no other king, so that people, when they leave, go, wow, I've got an amazing Savior. I want to follow him. I want to be transformed by him. I want to obey him. I want my affections in alignment with his. He is the one that is the center of the universe. That's what I think preaching is missing a lot these days.
How would you define expository preaching?
There again, Perry, it really depends. Expository preaching can be everything from, okay, I've heard this expository, I'm not kidding. I actually heard this expository sermon. A pastor said he was going to preach on Psalm 23. And he read the first verse and he went, wow, that the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Boy, that's just so profound. I'm just going to preach on the Lord is my shepherd. But then I realized, wait a second. The Lord is my shepherd. So I'm just going to preach on the word my, that he's my relational God. Wait a second. That's present tense. So I'm going to preach a sermon on our ongoing present tense relationship with you. The Lord, he's Lord. Okay, I'm going to preach a sermon on Lord. Wait a second. It's a definite article. The Lord. No other Lord's not a Lord. The Lord. I'm going to preach a sermon on the. Well, that's expository preaching, but I think it kind of drains the life out of the text. It misses the bigger point that is trying to be made, most likely. And it ultimately puffs us up. It's nothing but knowledge. Look, I'm as big a fan of studying the Greek language and diving deep into big theological words. But when I'm on my deathbed, I don't know that I need theological knowledge as much as I need to be loving and trusting my Lord. So expository preaching, it should reveal the text. Let God do the preaching, but it shouldn't just wring it out for all that it's worth. And so I think expository preaching needs to teach the text, but it also needs to teach me how to apply it. And second, it needs to exalt Jesus Christ, who is my motivation for applying it. That's where I think the zone is for expository preaching. That is the sweet spot.
One of your roles now is you're pastoring a church just around the corner there from your office, and congratulations on that. Taking on that responsibility, have you ever prepared one sermon and then had the Lord change that on you?
Well, do you mean like I had prepared one sermon but walked in the pulpit and preached another?
Yeah. Yes.
Haven't done that. But one of the things that I think, this is a little bit geeky, Perry, but I think you might appreciate it, or any pastor might appreciate this. I think the key to preaching a powerful Christological sermon is that the pastor is thinking about the text a lot and thinking weeks ahead about the text. What can I teach from this text? Because let's be honest, there's a lot that can be taught from any given text for my people. That's the sermon you got to be preaching. This is for my local flock, these sheep that are gathered here on a Sunday morning. So has that changed sometimes as I've thought through the text? Oh, absolutely. I think it should. I think if it doesn't, you're probably not thinking deeply enough.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that's so interesting, it's one thing to go through a book of a Bible, and there's much advantage to that. I get it. But circumstances arise during the life of a congregation, and maybe that needs to be interrupted with a special message for that day. How do you categorize that?
Yeah, I think so. The Charlie Kirk thing was a big deal. The Charlie Kirk is a recent example of when I think, I wouldn't commend it. Who am I to tell a pastor what to do? But I think that a pastor who's an expositor can say, hey, this is on everybody's heart. Everybody's consumed by this. They're worried about it. They're scared from this. They don't know how to process this. How do we live in a world where a guy who's 31 gets taken out for just talking on a university campus? And I think that to address that, I think is pastoral and wise, and I would argue needed in that particular instance. So yeah, I think that he can. But Perry, here's what happens. The book of Ephesians, for instance, you know how that thing is divided. The first 3 chapters, it's nothing but glorious gospel. And then 4, 5, and 6, it's all about the application. Well, here's the problem. If I spend 2-3 years in Ephesians, after I leave Ephesians 1, 2, 3, which is the foundation for my motivation to apply what Paul is going to teach in chapters 4, 5, and 6, I enter 4, 5, and 6 without a memory of 1, 2, 3, because we preached on that like months ago. And suddenly I'm preaching moralisms. Do this, be a better husband, be a better servant, be a better husband, be a better citizen. And it doesn't have a gospel basis. So what I'm saying is there's a danger in expository preaching when it gets so spread out that it loses the impact of the text. It takes about 23 minutes, no kidding, 23 minutes to read the book of Ephesians. If I preach it over the course of 2 years, I don't think that it has the impact that a sermon should.
That's a good point. Oh, boy, there's so much on this topic to consider.
Oh, I got one for you. Perry. I got one. Here's the angle that we tend to not consider. We have a tendency to be very thoughtful about the sermon that our pastor prepared. And on the way to Cracker Barrel, we are more than happy to open that bad boy up and criticize it to pieces. We love that aspect of preaching, but hold the phone, Henrietta. There's another partner in preaching, and that is the hearer. It's not just the speaker. It's the person who is listening. What are we doing to consume the sermon well? Perry, that is an element that I think that's the very chapter that I'm working on now. I'm actually going to preach about that on December 30th before we launch into 1 Peter. Are you coming to church with great expectations? What is God's word? It's a two-edged sword. It never returns void. That means you have God's promise. If you go to a church where they are preaching the word, as long as it's biblical, God has prepared something for you. Go to church eager. It's like, okay, give it to me, Pastor. What has God got for me this week? Take out your notebook, write it down, think about look for it. And I'm telling you, you'll become more of an engaged, active listener. You'll be less critical of the pastor's sermon because you're not going there as a sermon critic. You're going there with great expectations that God is going to do something for you. The hearer's responsibility in preaching, oh, that's so overlooked. And I think that it's been to our own detriment because it's really turned all of us into, well, we tend to be hypercritics.
Are we trying to accomplish too much with preaching? And let me qualify that question, because in talking to George Barna on many occasions and the research that he does, and especially lately with biblical worldview in America's churches now has fallen to only 4%. He points to a phenomenon, and that's when churches did away with Sunday school, basically teaching the fundamentals of the faith. And so we're trying to make it all up with preaching 2 times a week instead of teaching. And so, in other words, when we've done away with the teaching of the catechisms of the faith, we end up with preaching in a series, and maybe we're asking the series to do too much.
Yeah, you know what, Perry, I think that's a really great point, because let's just say you're at a corporation and once a week you get instructions, once a week. That's it. Well, by Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, that's going to fade off in the distance. And it's probably not enough for all of the responsibilities that you bear during the week. And I think that's a reasonable illustration for church. If you just go on Sunday and you just hear a sermon, that is awesome. But I think you need to supplement that throughout the course of the week. I think the sermon should be the highlight of the church week. That should be the biggest deal of the entire week. But that is not to suggest that it can fill in all of the holes of people's lives as they make their way throughout the week. So yes, there should be more teaching at church, but it is also incumbent upon each of us to be learners. That's why we do those devotional times. That's why we read our Bibles at home. Because if you are not consuming God's word daily, you're going to be pretty famished by the time Sunday comes.
Interesting. Well, you're fascinating. You got a lot going on there. Fortis Institute, you keep producing material. What's new besides this new one you got coming out about biblical counseling, at least examining world mental health? Yeah,
that's a big deal, that we are about biblical counseling, that God's word has better answers. But here's the thing that I can't tell you, Perry. So just keep this between you and me.
Okay.
We're currently talking to the folks at Turning Point USA, because we've been going out to the campuses for 20 years. They are increasingly want to preach the gospel at campuses. So we're talking to them about going, and you'll be so encouraged, Perry. I was just in Oklahoma, went to Oklahoma State University and Oklahoma University.
There you go.
I got to tell you, it was crazy what happened at Oklahoma University. There were a lot of kids there.
All right, fortisinstitute.org. Good to see you a little bit this morning. Are you going to be in town next week at your office?
Cool. Let's get together.
At your office. See you later. Bye.